The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 83. You can also contact us with questions and comments at Twitter, at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. So guess what, guys? I'm on the show this week. I know. I'm going to talk a lot, and I'm going to interact with other people. Who are those other people, you might ask? Well, we've got Proulx, of course. How are you doing, Proulx?
I'm doing fantastic. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's, man, this whole baseball season thing has been crazy. My son is going to be on his 6th straight day of baseball practice. And like it's just wearing my family so thin, but the end is soon. Like in August, I think that's when things kind of wrap up. But we don't have Randy. Randy's doing his excursion out west, but we have what he's gunning for your job, Proulx. We have Doughboyee. Dave, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic. Yeah, the reason I say he's gunning for your job is not only so I asked him if he wanted to be a part of the show. He then takes it upon himself to drum up some interest in the community, which you don't do, Proulx. And then he also donated to our Patreon, which you haven't done. And I mean, man, it's like he's looking for a job on the show. I mean, and I don't know how I can deny him at this point. It's so good to have you back on the show. I think we've had you on the show before, ages ago.
Yes, I did get on one show last year.
Yeah, it was almost exactly a year ago, wasn't it? During the Summer of Fun when Terrigan took some time off.
Yep.
And now he's taking a whole bunch of time off, and we got you back. Well, it's great to have you back, and we'll move into what we've been playing and stuff. But before we do that, we have to the big announcement, the big thing of the week. I'm going to call this my win of the week. I finally got a Patreon put together. The Z2Z Patreon page is up. It is in play. You know, we didn't do a ton of promoting. We just mentioned it on the first show because I was still half putting it together, and I thought, I have until technically Tuesday night to get this thing going. And so when I hit launch, I was very nervous that it wasn't going to work. Hey, but it looks like it's working. And you know what? We are so close to hitting our first goal of providing for the show, that we can actually keep the show running monthly, that we're not losing money every month like we have been. Now that we lost $$ Urban Spaceman, I think that's when I'm going to change his name too. Yeah. And so that is so amazing. Thank you so much to all of our patrons out there so far. I'm looking at ways to kind of jazz up the reward structure. Like, the things I threw out there were just things that we're going to do if we make it to that threshold, but we can do so much more. We can add more, things in the show, right? It'd be great to, if you're a patron for whatever period of time or something, you can get on our game show whenever I run that thing again. I guess Proulx and Randy have to figure out how to edit better, because that's going to be a monster. But the game show, maybe you could sit in on a show, get an interview, be a part of this. I don't know. There's so many other things that we can do. So keep an eye on the Patreon. We'll continue to engage with the community. But thank you so much to everyone who's pledged so far. Really, we couldn't do this without you. So thank you. So that's my win of the week. Let's start with our guest. Dave, what is your win of the week?
My win of the week would be slightly outside gaming, but not completely. Got a email from our representative from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for Extra Life, and found out that as of this week, we are ranked number 2 for number 2 for the amount of people signed up to participate for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia specifically.
That's awesome.
And we're ranked number 4 overall for all of the hospitals for money raised so far this year.
Wow, already this year. And
Congratulations.
are you part of a guild in that area, or is it a larger group? How is your team structured?
Yeah, my team isn't doing great yet, but that we always start late. But we always do good towards the end.
Come on, Extra Life Day's in November.
I know, exactly. We've got
it.
time. But no, I am part of the Philadelphia Guild, so I do go out to events. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at Too Many Games in Philadelphia. The week before that, we were at Wizard World. The week before that, we hit, I don't even remember what the one before that was, Brickfest. So we go out to a lot of events in the area and try to get people to sign up for it and explain to them what it is and get them excited for it as well. So.
Absolutely. Yep. I've been seeing my guild here in Twin Cities have been drumming up a lot of business. Of course, we had Summer Games Done Quick here. The X Games is here right now. It's actually going on right this minute, and I'm sure they're, it turns out 20-year-olds really like video games. So, it's a great venue for getting people excited about donating to charity, and we've got a nice hospital up here in Gillette's Children. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I assume you have a personal goal for your this year. Are you going bigger than last year? Are you trying to just hit the same number? What are you?
Slightly bigger. What I'm looking at doing is last year was the first year I got a gold medal myself. You get a gold medal at $1,000 raised for personals. But I have a friend who's been doing it with me every single year, and he has yet to get himself a t-shirt because he always promotes me. So I'm at least going to push my goal to try to get my gold medal again, but then I'm going to start pushing him, maybe even start with him just to make sure that he gets a t-shirt this year and then fundraise together. For
sure. That's awesome. And I know at being a part of the community events team at True Achievements and Extra Life is important to Planting and I as co-managers. So we're really pushing for Rich and Jack to do a lot more on the site to help promote Extra Life as well. So expect a bigger presence. Whether or not we can execute that, again, it's we do our best. But that's a wonderful charity, a wonderful organization. Great, that's awesome. Proulx, what's your win of the week?
Well, nothing so altruistic, so maybe not best to follow up on this. But no, I just two little things. I just hit today was my 500th day streak.
That's pretty
for
cool.
Achievements. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah, I forgot that it was coming up, and then I hit it, and there it was. So that was cool.
So presumably that you've hit 500, like you actively keep a streak going every day.
Oh, yeah.
Are you a like midnight popper guy to like get it out of the way early, or do you?
No, I do it as early as possible. So just in case something comes up or something crazy happens and it glitches or everything goes down or what, as soon as I can, I get it. So
I get that. I'm so glad I don't keep a streak. That sounds awful.
It's really not too bad, especially with having a Windows phone. In case I do go out or whatever, I can just pop something in real quick and just get it. It's not that bad.
How many times have you had a Proulx line where you'd call home and say, "Proulx mate, I need you to unlock something for me"?
Yeah, never. He wouldn't do it. So that's the thing. He would, he's not.
He would sabotage you, wouldn't he?
He would. He totally would.
What
he's
a
not reliable
bastard.
in that way at all. Yeah. And then other than that, I also completed Rocket League. So I finally got all the achievements. Well, I was never done with any of the achievements. I just kind of worked on them when I was kind of in between matches.
Sure.
But now I'm done.
What was your last non-DLC one that you still had open? Like driving far, or
there was no. I got that
ages ago. Scoring goals. You're pretty terrible.
Oh man, listen to you. Jeez. So we've got a guest on. He's doing all these great things for charity, and then we've got Proulx who sucks at everything. So the last vanilla achievement I had was the Hearts decal, and I had never
I need
really
that one too.
looked into it because I had always just assumed I would have already had it because I played the game so much. What I didn't know was that the Hearts decal only works for certain cars.
Yeah.
So I would always just go check on the car that I normally
right?
use, and it wouldn't be there, obviously. So I would just be like, okay, whatever. I'll just get it the next time I unlock it or whatever. And I've never really looked into it because, like I say, normally when I'm playing Rocket League, I play for fun. But I had the time, and I'm like, okay, let me just get these done, bang them out, and so I'm good. I'm 100% right now, and I'm ready for the next batch of DLC.
Can you trade for decals, or those are untradeable?
No, you cannot trade the Hearts decal.
Oh, man. So how'd you finally get it? Just random?
I think I've had it for a long time.
Oh, you just didn't know you needed it.
I just didn't know I needed to check on the different cars, so.
I know I don't have it, and I'm super frustrated about it. I'm like, man, I mean, granted, I still have like 100 miles left to drive. Like I'm not that far into the game, but or whatever the mileage one is, and then scoring goals. But anyway, what about regular gaming? What else have you been up to?
So I've done a lot this week. I did some stuff for Random To-Do List. GTA 4, I popped in for a quick counter achievement. I jumped on Halo Wars and had to play one match and win real quick. Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, I had to zap some guys with lightning. I got some Perfect Dark multiplayer achievements out of the way because that was on my Random To-Do List as well. And, just pecking away at that. I'm working at a good clip this month. So I'm hoping to hit 15 if I can.
How many did you get this week?
I think I'm up to 8. So
8 this week, or you're just at 8 overall?
Just at 8 total, yeah. So pretty good. Not bad. We'll see how it goes, but
yeah.
I really enjoyed always kind of the variety of gaming that provides.
Totally
one of the
agree.
big things that I had been working on for a random to-do list was, and I mentioned this last week, was Lego Batman 2.
Yeah.
And I was at the middle part of that game, and it was an end game achievement, even though it was super low TA because it's a Lego game. So I'm like, okay, I'll just finish this game out just to get it done anyways. So I did finish it, and then I'm like, oh, you know what? I never did the Lego Batman 3 DLC, which was on sale for the Ultimate Game Sale.
Yeah.
So I knocked all that out tonight. And let's see, other than that, we had a great Halo 3 boosting session on Tuesday. We still can't match up for the vanilla stuff because our level disparity is too high. So I have to work on de-leveling while everybody else has to work on getting up a few levels just so we can find each other.
Yeah, Mattism keeps talking in our Diablo group. He's like, man, I should be playing Halo right now. I need those achievements.
So we couldn't do the vanilla stuff, but we were able to do some of the DLC. It's free now. So, one of the community members, Skeptical Mario, who is not super big on DLC, decided he'd bite the bullet and play it. And it went really well. We just started knocking out achievements like left and right. I think we all got like at least 5 achievements in that hour and a half that we played. It was good. It was solid stuff. So, then working on Titanfall, both on Thursday and not on Thursday. I actually played quite a bit tonight as well. I've decided to double down on Titanfall, and I just want to get it done and be done with it. So I'm just going to start playing some matches every day so I can get at least at the same level, because we're all trying to kind of finish it out together, hoping that I can stay at pace with everyone else. So
no Proulx left behind.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I would say that's pretty much it.
Nice. Dave, what about you? What have you been up to this week?
Not much gaming, unfortunately, but I wanted to make sure since I was on the show I'd have something done. So I did do Energy Cycle this morning. Just pop that in real quick. It took hours and hours and hours. But,
did you time it? Like what does your in-game clock say?
You know what? I didn't look.
So mine took like 48 minutes, and it was because I needed it for GTAC or something, but like I was trying to convince my son to read the stupid tell me what to do, like left 4, down 1, and like I hate how it jumps, so you still have to like look up and make sure that it's moving in the right direction, because I've done that a couple of times, and I'm like, man, this could be so much less painful than I'm literally just reading directions. Why is this not working? Right.
It feels like a long 48 minutes, though, doesn't it?
It's an awful 48 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's
I think
tough.
It took less than that for me, but I did have 2 levels that I had to do over because my son was like, well, what's that? What's that? And I'm like, wait. I don't know which one I just clicked. Let me restart that level.
Interesting. What about like just recently? Anything in the recent past that's worth your while or interesting?
I've been.
You don't have to go that deep, but
no, it's okay. I've been working away at Gems of War, trying to get that completed, but working on that very slowly. I picked up the Spheroids, so that I could play that both on the Windows PC and on the Xbox One. It seems like a really fun game. I'm only starting that one, but I like that one. And then picking away at Letter Quest as well, because that one, like you said last week, is a grind. So got to just keep working away on that one.
Yeah, for sure. That I started that up a couple weeks ago, and like it's like a game that I really like. It's super fun, but yeah, I'll have to wait till you get some more L's in. Let's see, ZZ Urban Spaceman in August, no L's, so that game is off my game collection next month. How you doing in the random to do list? You focus on that at all, or just if it happens, it happens?
Pretty much, yeah. I look at it the last week to see if there's anything that I can grab. I just haven't focused on that as much. I've been trying to do the gamer tag, make sure that I get that done, and the MOCOS, try to get at least one or two eligibilities in that. So that's what I've been working on.
All about the baby steps, yeah, for sure. Myself, what did I end up doing this week? Well, all random to do lists focused. I mean, like I set my plan for the month based on. I've been curating my list so that they are representative games that I want to finish, A, and B, that have, increased populations in letters that work in the Gamertag challenge, right? Mm-hmm. So I brought in a bunch of N's and L's and what else for McLovin Legend? My V's, right? Typically I don't have any V's in there, so I pull some V's in. And so then I focus my gaming on that, and of course, games that come up don't have any of those letters. So like Draw a Stickman Epic, played a bunch of that. D, I already used my D on Diablo because I'm doing that every week. That's again so much easier with a controller. Don't even bother using Kinect with that. That's just a disaster. And then Overcooked, right? So I played Overcooked, and I had to play a bunch of Overcooked by myself because I didn't know when the forest level was, and I had only done like the first 2 kitchens. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like the beginning of one of the worlds, and I didn't bother looking it up online. So it turns out it's the 4th world. So I had to play like 16 different kitchens to get up there. That's awesome. Is tough by yourself, man. That is like, and granted, you only have to get 1 star, but I know I have to go back eventually and try to get 3 stars. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing my best to do it. And man, I think the one that gave me the most fits, it's weird how like. It's already a hectic game when you're playing, and then they add just kind of these tiny little wrinkles in the kitchen that are like, man, that's really annoying. And it's remarkable how many different ways they can be annoying. Because you think it'd be one thing where it's like, oh yeah, they'll put like a maze, and it'll be hard to walk around, and that'll be the thing. And it's like, no, we're gonna have moving trucks that you have to deal with, or the icebergs, or the haunted house where the things are just gonna move on you. And I think the one that gave me the most fits was the ice truck level, where you had the 2 trucks with the 1 truck moving in between them. And so like all of your dishing out was on the truck moving in between. All your cooking and cutting was on one side, and all your food was on the other side. So you'd have to like keep moving them back and forth and stuff. That one I lost a couple of times before finally making to the stupid forest and unlocking my random to-do list. But I wish I had somebody locally that could come over here and I could game with. So actually, that being said, and I don't know how public I want this, because we're working on setting up the Minnesota quota, where we actually are going to get together in real life. We're probably going to hit up one of the fantastic local establishments in the area. There's so many small breweries around here. And there's actually one in particular that I think we're leaning toward, because it actually has free video games. There's a place called Bad Weather Brewing in St. Paul over here, but they have one of the old Ninja Turtles in Time arcade machine.
Nice.
That's unlocked, right? So you can just get in there and just keep hitting like 99 lives and just start, going through those old, what are they? They're brawlers, I guess, or beat 'em ups. Man, I know it's so much fun. I played with my son and daughter and like one of his friends. We went through and just beat the whole game. It was great. So I don't know if that's the place yet, though. But if you're interested in being a part of it, send me a message. You can get me at Twitter or through Discord or whatever. Send me a message that you're interested. I'll add you into our little group, and we can talk about when the details are forthcoming. A couple other things is Diablo 3 started my Inferno run with the guys. On Tuesday, we are through Magda, so a couple achievements there. About maybe halfway, although we're in that dreadful Act 2 that's just miserable.
So I forgot to mention on my list, but Proulx and a bunch of our friends have been getting back into Diablo. So I actually had played quite a bit of Diablo. I downloaded the Necromancer and started a character and stuff. And we aren't just starting Act 2. So, but man, that game is so much fun. I love that game.
It's wonderful. I'm excited to get to, and I'm getting close to having to actually now buy the Ultimate Evil Edition for the 360. I skipped it because I was like, no, this all this is grinding is just annoying. I don't really want to do it, but it's actually that next completion is not nearly as painful as the original 360 version. So it's like, oh, maybe we can just kind of rip through that too, and then move up to the one finally. Open it up so that more people can, we can kind of sub people in and out and work toward that. Just like we're doing in Titanfall. And I finally hit Gen 8. Well, okay, technically I didn't hit Gen 8. I'm Gen 9, level 49, which, at 50 I can regen.
You hit 9 before you hit 8?
No, level 49. Gen 7, level 49. Oh, okay. Sorry. Right. Gen 7, 49. So, like, one more Frontier Defense map, and I got it. So I'm going to hopefully take care of that this week. But, yeah, that's super close to being done. Now with those wins, I can start kind of finishing off all those other achievements and then just regen and get out of there. And then we can switch up to something else on Thursday nights, which I think everybody is excited to do. Finally, the last thing, very heavy achievement related, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Danger of the Ooze. This is the follow-up to the Nickelodeon. The super easy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Nickelodeon one. That's super easy, and for some reason they were like, well, that game was fine as a brawler. We're going to go ahead and come out with the sequel and make it a Metroidvania, if you don't mind. So, what really makes every Ninja Turtles game fun, because there's 4 turtles, is couch co-op. We're going to take all that out and just do single-player Metroidvania. Terrible, terrible design. The game is glitchy as all get out, and it's just kind of obnoxious. But it's about a 6-hour completion. It takes 2 playthroughs. So my first playthrough, that's the 100% playthrough where you just unlock everything, and you got to get every little piece of the map. You get all but 3 achievements by doing that, and it's that playthrough takes about 5 hours. It can probably go faster, but I wasn't necessarily using a guide all the way through. I was just kind of exploring, and then if I found maybe a side room, I'd go do that. Really, ultimately, you want to play the whole game, get all the boosts and stuff, and then go back. But there's a fun little glitch in that, and it mentions it in the walkthrough, where if you switch between your Ninja Turtles, so let's say I'm playing as Leo, and I can switch on the fly, as long as my 2 feet are on the ground, to any other turtle, you have a 2-second invulnerability frame, so you can't be hurt, but you can still attack. So you can switch to a turtle, start whacking away at a boss, switch to another turtle, whacking away at a boss, and just constantly do that with never getting hurt. That's how you actually get the beat Razar without getting hit achievement. It's just by glitching or abusing that in-game glitch. And so that works pretty well for getting through the whole game. And so you need that ability because the second playthrough, in theory, should take you less than an hour, because that's the achievement. Beat the game in under an hour. And that's just mainlining it without doing any upgrades at all. You just run through as hard as you can and go for the boss. Not terribly difficult, but also I think I read somewhere about somebody gave it a difficulty rating of a 2 out of 10, except the last boss, the Shredder, who's a 5 out of 10. It's the difficulty on him alone ramps this thing up, and I don't know why he's so annoying. He just I don't know. It's really obnoxious. I died a ton of times before I finally figured out like a nice way to not just get wrecked by him all the time. But if you're looking for a pretty easy completion out there, and I'm sure it's dirt cheap. I think I saw it on the Microsoft Store for like $6 or something brand new. So if you're interested, 1,000 Gamerscore right there. Which actually, that reminds me, there's a comment by Beer Me. He mentioned in he's one of our patrons. Thank you, Beer Me. Absolutely. He said, "Hey, I unlocked the 100-point gamer score for the insane patron. For donating for pledging $20 a month." He said, "But for $20 a month, like that's not much gamer score. I feel like I should get a full game completion out of that. So I might have to adjust the fake internet points on Patreon to give full game completions to our topmost donators."
So we are pay to win.
Pay to win.
You heard it here.
There it is. We have sold out. Great. Well, let's talk about some news. And I've got some sad news, a couple pieces of sad news. Have you guys played For Honor? Did you ever like do any demos or own it or anything? Proulx, Doughboyee, you guys?
I saw the video when Conan did it. And was aware of it, but no, I haven't played it.
No, I haven't played it either. I've watched a lot on Twitch, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're all very aware of it and have seen it. Of course, probably the most memorable parts of when we did see it were on the Ubisoft stage when the Jason Vandenberg came on stage, and you'll remember him as the incredibly animated bearded man who walks up there with the cane and the passion in his voice and how excited he was about this. He was the creative director on that project. Well, Jason Vandenberg is now left Ubisoft. He worked there 9 years. He's working for ArenaNet now, and I think he's a design director now over there. So he's not making games really anymore, which is kind of sad. I mean, maybe he got his one passion project in For Honor out of the way, but moving on, I'm hoping he's living out his dreams. I don't know, but so those of you looking for a follow-up to For Honor, he will not be helming that, likely, unless they bring him back. But anyway, just wanted to mention that because he was such an animated individual, and I think the gaming industry needs people like that. The other, which actually it's funny, I'm finally in my podcasts have caught up to E3. So I'm now listening to. So last week it was all people talking about, oh, hey, these are my predictions for E3, and like, of course, I'm listening, going wrong, you're wrong, and just constantly hearing this. But I'm finally now in like the midst of E3, and there was an interview, a Game Informer interview, where he had who the hell is the creative director for XCOM 2, a dude from Remedy, and a dude from, I just listened to it yesterday, and I can't remember. Anyway, that dude from XCOM 2 is so darn funny. That guy is just brilliant, and he's so self-deprecating, and he's just talking about, because they were talking about Mario and the Rabbids, or the Rabbids in Mario Kingdom, whatever that game is called, right? Mario and the Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids. About how, Miyamoto-san had just pretty much, well, I guess it's Ubisoft who did it. They just stole directly from XCOM 2 XCOM in general. And he's like, well, did that bother you at all? He's like, no, not at all. I mean, actually, if Miyamoto wanted to call me up and say, hey, I got an idea, I'd be like, I'd take that call in a second. Yeah. And he's like, and I'm just hoping that they come up with some cool things, because I will steal that right back and put that into my game. He's like, there's no original thought anymore. It's about steal. And I mean, he's joking about it and glib about it. But ultimately, I mean, that's kind of how you do things around here, is that you take a great idea and you build upon it, right? Like, which I'm super surprised we haven't seen more Nemesis system stuff. Like, I think I think XCOM 2 is actually, speaking of stealing things, I think that new War of the Chosen that's coming out, that standalone expansion, or not standalone expansion, the expansion that's coming out, well, actually, it has a nemesis system in it, where like the aliens actually will remember you, and hopefully they don't kill your dude. But anyway, wow, I'm just off rambling on this. Anyway, let's move on to another sad piece of news. This one actually doesn't bother me one bit, and I know Randy put this thing up here, but Microsoft is ending support for Windows Phone. It's it. They're done. They're throwing in the towel. Proulx, what does this mean now that Windows Phone 8.1 is dead skis?
Well, I mean, probably nothing for a while anyways. I'm hoping that it's not going to affect achievements for a long time. Presumably it won't, but basically just development for it is dead, which is kind of how it's been anyways, except for a few things here and there. So it's probably not that huge of a deal in the immediate future, but I think for me, I'm definitely going to be doubling down on my Windows Phone time, getting as much of that stuff done as I possibly can while everything is still, actually working and stuff.
Right. Dave, do you have a Windows Phone at all?
Yeah, I do.
Does this do anything for you, or do you have a new Windows 10 one?
I do not have 10. I have a 8.1. I have one that was supposedly going to be one of the ones to go to 10, and they never did that. So, but no, I think the same way. Looking at previous Windows end of life cycles, things like that, they're just not doing the updates. They're not doing support. They're not doing anything to keep an eye on it. So whatever's on there now is going to function for a while before. And they weren't making major changes in these games. They're games that have been out there for a while, so I don't see any reason to freak out about it. And nothing has to connect over the phone service. It can go right through Wi-Fi. So I think most of these things will be around for quite a while.
Well, good. Now, that being said, though, you may want to, if something tragically catastrophically fails on their side, I'm not sure how quick they'll be to fix it. So, not that should be an issue, but it's certainly something to keep in mind. Do you have a lot of games on your Windows Phone, Dave?
Yeah, actually, quite a bit of them. I have either started or not started, depending on, because a lot of them were compatible with the Windows 10 or Windows 8 games, and you could move your progress over for a lot of them.
That's
so you're
right.
able to stack those quite easily. So, but I've started on one system or the other for all of them. The only major issue I had was that I did have an older Windows 8 phone or mobile phone, and then I got a newer version that had a faster processor, more memory, things like that, and I have to go back to the old one for some of the saves that I can't move over because that's one thing they just never did. So
yeah, that's funny. Proulx, how's your completion percentage on your phone? How is that holding up okay? Or now that you kind of have maybe more of a focus, you gotta bring that level up quite a bit.
It is. I mean, it's super high right now. I don't know percentage wise. I mean, it's almost certainly in the 90s.
Yeah, you kind of do what Randy does, where it's like you'll just focus on one game, finish that, and then
exactly,
just to make sure that there's no issues, and then move on to something else. 1
or 2 games at a time, and maybe I'll push that to 3 or 4. Find some of these time-consuming town builder games that I can just kind of click on things every now and again, and at least make some progress. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, again, I'm not too concerned for the immediate future. This is more of a long-term thing, so I think I'll probably end up maybe going by release date. Just get the oldest stuff done first, stuff that won't receive any sort of support from the developers as well, and we'll see. And I guess hopefully we'll have some more knowledge about systems being affected before it actually happens. Yeah, I would hate for the achievement servers or something to go down and with no advanced warning at all. But we'll see. I'm not really worried about that taking place, but it's definitely a possibility, I guess.
Yeah, I took 2-3 weeks off from Age of Empires. I was just so got burnt out on those stupid missions. I think I'm 400 crowns out of 2,000. And then finally I decided I got to just come back, focus, try and chip away at it. It's annoying. I've been playing this new game. It's not even a new game, but it happened to be on sale over the 4th of July called Reigns, Reign. and it's essentially like Tinder. I mean, that's kind of the gameplay mechanic is Tinder. Like they'll give you a card, and it's like this cartoon. You're the king of this nation, and it'll present you with like hey, the garrison's on fire. What do you want to do? And then you can either swipe left, and it'll tell you like, oh, send the army, or swipe right, and it's save the citizens. And that will have implications on these 4 levels that you have to control. So your the church, keep the church happy. The army, keep the army happy. The population, keep them happy. And your money, your treasury, keep that in level. And so all 4 of these levels are impacted based on your decisions. And if any of them go down to 0, you get killed. If any of them go to 100%, you get killed. And then sometimes just things will happen where you get killed. I mean, that's kind of the idea, is you keep getting killed as the king, and then you respawn as the next heir, where all of your decisions that you kind of made as the previous king, they still carry through. So like if the previous king was like, hey, I need money, I'm going to start a holy crusade, and I'm going to just wage war on the South region. And so you've got this active war going on, and then your next king that comes to power is like, okay, well, I still have this ongoing war, and my population's depleting over time, but I am making bank over time, and that always leads to like you end up making too much money, and I think there's some funny deaths in there, like when you have too much money, you're like, hey, you have so much, you're so rich, we're gonna throw a huge party, and then when you swipe, the next thing is, well, yeah, you ordered a huge cask of beer, and then you fell into it and drowned. Like it's super funny. Or, yeah, there's a great archery tournament. It did not end well for you. And like there's a picture of you as the king with an arrow through your face. It's super cartoony and fun. But anyway, I actually beat that this week. But I won't spoil anything. It's super good. But anyway, it cost me $1. I wish there were achievements for it. I mean, like real achievements, not Google Play achievements.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They are. They're really annoying. I looked at them. I looked at one game because I was like, I wonder, how I'm doing on any of these particular games. And I'm like, let me just take a look at this one. And it's like, out of 12,000, whatever points it is. And I'm like, this is just dumb. Like, 12,000 points, like that's just absurd. Each achievement's worth like 2,500. I think it's called XP or something. I don't know. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I think it is.
Just
yeah, there's no true measurement over there.
Oh, just dumb. Hey, Proulx, you are the resident rock band aficionado.
Mm-hmm.
I see that there's some news.
Well, yeah. I guess you could call it news. I mean, more DLC, which does happen every single week. But of course, this is kind of a legendary song, right? So they released Indigata Devita, the 17-minute rock epic.
How does that go again?
Do you want me to sing it for you right now?
I kind of do.
I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
What? Come on. Even do the chorus. Like, do the one from The Simpsons. In the Garden of Eden, baby.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
You remember that episode?
You forgot about that?
Yeah, that's a fantastic episode. You get the old bag on the organ, and she just passes out after the 17-minute, the 4-minute solo or whatever.
So at this point, there's really nothing that's not on Rock Band. And of course, that's hyperbole. That's silly to say. But there's just so much stuff there. It's ridiculous. The one thing to note of importance here is that unlike most Rock Band songs, which individually cost $1.99, this is actually going to cost you $2.99 because, well, come on.
It's massive.
Yeah, this took at least 3 or 4 times the amount of work than a normal song does.
I can say it. I would love so I like punk music, and they're one of my favorite songs. And it's technically a song because they've played it in concert. I've actually seen it. They made it a point to do it in every city, and it ended up taking them like 10 years to finally hit every city. But I happened to be at the Minneapolis one when they were here. The band is NoFX. Old school punk band, but they have an album it's an album that's a single track, a 1-track album called The Decline, which is a 30-minute song. It's a brilliant song. I love it. I absolutely love it. That would be super fun. I mean, I don't have 30 minutes to play Rock Band, but like that type of just epic, constant, just, that'd be sweet.
So I was just going to complain that it would be difficult to do 17 minutes of drumming, but it's not because I mean, if you play any set list with 3 or 4 songs, it's the same thing. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the fact that you don't get any break. It's just 17 straight minutes. In between each set list, you'll have a minute or 30 seconds to kind of cool off or whatever. It seems pretty daunting. I don't know how hard the song. I don't think it would be. Maybe some of the guitar stuff would be, but the rest of the stuff I don't think would be too terribly challenging. Yeah, but it's interesting to note, anyways.
Right. Do you have any epically long songs, Dave, that you like?
I'm just thinking of when what was it, Green Day Rock Band, when they had the tracks all from the one. Oh my gosh, why am my mind's slipping?
American Idiot.
American Idiot, yeah. And they had Jesus of Suburbia, and that was about a 9.5 minute long song, and it changed rhythm so many times throughout the song while you're playing it. So that was kind of one of the bigger ones that I remember. But yeah, the new one, that's going to be tough to do, like you said, just to go through the entire song, and definitely has to go in no fail mode. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's definitely for the best. Yeah.
I wonder, because I guess I can't remember the song that well, but with 4 guitar solos, they got to slow the drums down at that point, right? I mean, there's probably some basic rhythm there, but I can't imagine you're, going nuts wailing on the drums that hard if you're. No,
I don't think it would be very super challenging for the drums. I actually just for fun, when I saw this in the notes here, I put the song up on YouTube because I haven't heard it in years, and it didn't seem too challenging for that sort of stuff. So, but that being said, I think I'll pass on this song, but I'm sure for people who are really into it, this is $3 isn't too bad.
Oh, it's not terrible.
I will say I already clicked on it, so it is in my
nice.
already on there. So I'm thinking extra life goals type sort of thing. Just one of those. I will do this if I make a certain amount of money. So.
Oh yeah, would love to see that stream. That'd be fun. Speaking of streaming, we had a new Windows update that has just rolled out to everybody. Actually, today, as of recording, has the update crossed? Have you used your Xbox with the new update?
Wait, you said a Windows update, and now you're
Xbox update.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't. It didn't tell me it updated, so I'm not sure.
So the update, there's probably 4 key features here. You're getting user-generated tournaments in Killer Instinct on the Xbox One. So now you can kind of set up, and they actually showed some of these ladder tournaments that you can set up in Killer Instinct. We should do one of those, I think, for a community.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
See if anyone can dethrone Randy as the self-appointed king of Killer Instinct.
Certainly
right?
not. I did beat him once. Actually, we were boosting a few weeks ago. And
you beat him boosting when he wasn't trying.
Well, no.
Great. Good for you.
No, what happened was we both had our main tags and our dummy tags, and depending on how it played out, we would get matched up in different ways. And our main tags have both gotten matched up, and we were both kind of right at the tier where we kind of each needed to. We would have been okay with a loss, but we would both have been okay with a win. And he was playing with a character that he doesn't normally play with. I was playing with. I don't have a main because I'm not good at the game at all.
Yeah.
And I actually beat him literally just button mashing because that's all I know how to do in that game. So, but it wasn't his main character. I'm sure he would have been able to crush me with an actual character. But I can say that I have beat him. So,
is there a character in Killer Instinct who is one of those randomized guys who he just takes on the persona of a different fighter? Do you have any of those dudes?
No, they're all pretty distinctive and unique.
You know what I'm talking about, like in Soul Calibur, you got the Battle Master or whatever his name is. Or,
I think I know what you're saying.
No, it's the doppelganger guy.
Right. No, nothing like that. It's
like Kirby.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little different.
Them
I was thinking more like Mii fighters who are kind of you can kind of put little different attributes on. But
the biggest one I think is Soul Calibur, and it's like when you see your dude, like the big white bearded guy, and you're like, okay, who am I fighting as today? And then you look at what weapon he's carrying, and you're like, oh, I'm Astaroth. Okay, yeah, he's got the giant, crazy axe.
Yep.
Like, or oh, he's like looks like he's doing the drunken stance. I must be Voldo without like the weird S&M nonsense that he does.
Man, I haven't played Soul Calibur in a long time. Yeah, there's nobody like that in, as far as I know, because I haven't played like the newest characters, but I'm pretty sure that they're all pretty distinct from each other. So it's nothing like that. Yeah.
Those are always the characters I gravitate toward. I mean, it's terrible because I get the crap beat out of me, right? Because I try to be a jack of all trades, a master of none, and I just end up being crappy at all. Is pretty much how it goes.
You know, it would be nice if you set up if we could set up like a Killer Instinct tournament, and each of these games would count as an online ranked win. Now that would be super awesome because you have to get 20 ranked wins with every character. So I could see some potential for boosting in this mode if that was the case, but I don't think it is. But.
Yeah, well, keep your eyes out on probably if we do one of these, it would be set up through my personal Discord channel, discord.me/Freamhole. We would likely try and set some of these up. Probably the easiest way. Maybe the forums, forum.z2z.com, if we were going to do a tournament like this. Who knows? Maybe now that this is integrated, we can actually launch this. Well, that's one of the items that was done with this new Xbox One update. The other, Mixer co-streaming is now available for consoles that, you can then, click over to Mixer and have you and your buddy, right, split that screen up and do a co-stream on a single broadcast. So you can find people to hook up with. If you end up playing the same game, you can watch the two different perspectives, or you just kind of create like a little community thing. I think, can you have like 4 channels? How many can go on a
you can do up to 4 players on separate accounts all going through the same channel, so every one of your channels would show all 4 screens on it.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, this is really going to come into a good play during Extra Life when we have multiple people on multiple consoles. It's something we've always wanted to do, and now it's built right into Mixer. So,
yeah, that's super cool. We were on Titanfall last night. We just had let's say Mighty Mango right now is in Terre Haute, Indiana for Achievement Fest. It's a consortium of gamers from the area, and they kind of all descend upon Indiana for a glorious nonstop gaming weekend. And so we were playing Titanfall, and it was, I think he said there's like 30, 40 people there, just all bringing consoles, all just kind of gaming and helping each other out. Like, hey, I'm really terrible at Geometry Wars. Can you help me out? Like, can we play together? And like, you just carry me. Or hey, you got a really obscure game that is really hard to get. Yeah, let's go. Let me pop that into my Xbox so I can play it today. So that's a cool community event. Again, it's this year. I think it's annually around this time. So if you're interested, you can look up Achievement Fest. But that'd be great for something like that too, where then it may be people who can't go can watch multiple streams if people are taking part in that area, or you can be a part of that as well and have your own stream from home, but just try to join in the festivities. I love the idea, and it's not new to Mixer, of course. Like there's been split streams on other outlets, but it's now trying to make it easier for everybody. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Dave. Extra Life, huge implications for that. So that'll be wonderful. The last 2 updates here. Let's start with this one. You can now sign in and link a specific controller to your account. So now like my Elite is, and whenever I turn the Elite on, it always links to Freamhole. Like I don't have to worry about my son, trying to jump on there and take my tag, because he's now started to sign on and log me off. So when I used to be able to like get achievements out of him, he's now smart enough to say, "Nah, I'm gonna get my own achievements, Dad." You son of a gun. So like I'll watch him play. I think he's been playing Motocross Madness, like just like silly racing games or Minecraft even. And he'll sign me out of the console and start playing his own tag. I'm like, man, kidding me? Like, that's why I had kids. They're supposed to be helping me out, score achievement, do grindy things I don't want to do. But
sounds like you need more kids.
It could be. My controller showed up that I got from Groupon. It's like a blue one. So I'm debating whether or not like I make that his controller. Like you can just I'll link your profile to the blue controller and like that's just you. So no, you don't have to touch my Elite controller at all, and sure as hell none of your little rugrat friends touch my Elite controller.
It's actually kind of a cool idea. I mean, it's a very specific use case for it, but it does seem super useful in those scenarios. I mean, I can imagine, because I have friends that come over and I have controllers that I just rarely ever use. Yeah. And if we just assign it to them, it's just much easier to kind of do that instead of dealing with the whole menu thing this every time that they sign in. So, it can be useful, I think.
Here's the other thing. You now have an opportunity to be, because it'll be linked to a profile, you then go into the co-op controller, and now that's linked to his gamer tag, and then you can map those buttons onto your controller and just F with him. Like, so, because every time, Proulx, that's your controller right there. Yeah, it's that one. And you've gone into the system settings and turned, his A button into something else. And so you just know it's connected to that. You don't have to worry about which controller is all goofed up because it's on his tag.
That's actually a great idea. I was also thinking that I could go in, because there's no way he will not know about this feature. So no. I'm thinking of just setting my profile to sign in every time he uses his controller on his Xbox, which will drive him nuts for at least a week of entertainment, I think, on that one. So
right, that's brilliant. Just troll on. And in the final one, and I think this is actually a question that I personally have to you guys, is we can now, you could do it before through the Windows app. But now it's available to all of the Xbox One owners. Custom gamer picks. What are you guys gonna do? Do you guys have a custom gamer pick in mind, or are you keeping your current? What's the plan, Proulx?
I've got two options. I've got my Twitter picture that I use for a lot of things, which is a 1-up mushroom with some glasses, because I wear glasses, so it makes sense. But what I think I'll probably end up going with is I asked my girlfriend, who is pretty handy dandy with Photoshop, to come up with something kind of unique and original. That way I can have kind of my own thing. Custom means custom. What I will not be doing is inappropriate pictures, but I'm sure many, many people will be.
Eggplants all day. Yeah, I'm curious how many of those are gonna get. And you got there's going to be like a filter that like
I was going to say, I'm imagining
those,
they have some software now that will prevent some Uno levels of silliness from happening. But
yeah.
Of course,
it's called the peen screen. That's what.
Yeah, but of course, people will find a way around it, and we'll all be subject to at least a little bit of that silliness. But
absolutely, okay. I'm waiting to find one. Not that I'm excited about it, but I know it's going to happen. It's just totally inevitable. Dave, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say what I'm more interested in. I don't want to say concerned about, but like, how hard are they going to crack down on copyrighted images? Like, say, for instance, I wanted to have like a Spider-Man picture as my custom gamer picture. How much are they going to be restrictive of that sort of thing? Because of course, most people aren't going to create from whole cloth their own images.
Yeah.
They're going to find a cool picture on the internet they like, and they're going to use that. So I'm just wondering where the lines are going to be drawn, how strict they're going to be on that, and where we'll land.
Yeah, it's a good point. Dave, what about you? What's on the docket for your gamer pick?
Well, to that real quick, I'm just thinking, like, as far as many websites have avatars like Twitter and things like that, and you can put whatever image on there, and, you know, Nintendo's not running you down and saying, you got to change that because you're not Super Mario. So I don't know if it's going to be something that they're going to police that way, but for right now, I'm going to stick with my avatar that I have at the moment, just literally my Xbox avatar. Just leave that there. Kind of working with somebody on doing some custom work for me as far as getting a channel and things set up through Mixer. So once that happens, I'll probably start to put that on there for self-promotion and stuff.
Yeah, I got you. Now, I guess, I think you're right. I think they'll kind of turn a blind eye to most of it because ultimately it's done in a promoting type of way. But, you know, let's say Proulx's one-up mushroom, he turned it to look like a phallic symbol.
Right.
Like, I could see Nintendo getting a little frustrated with that and maybe saying, all right, you need to change that image. Don't associate, you know. But what I just saw on Twitter today was a reskinned Mario as a Gears of War cog and, you know, eviscerating someone with a Lancer. So, yeah, I don't think, Miyamoto will be super excited about watching Mario gore a Koopa with a chainsaw. But, you know.
Freem, you didn't tell us what you're going to change yours to.
Yes, so mine's going to be kind of dumb, but it's got to be the Z to Z logo. I absolutely love that logo.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's the same as my Twitter profile right now. I even posted that into Major Nelson's, you know, his contest, the Free Friday contest. I absolutely love that logo. I think Grug, who did that logo for us for the show, it is so cool. I don't know. I just love it. Like I said, I would get that as a tattoo if I wasn't in my late 30s with 2 kids. Like, that would be such a tattoo.
You're never too old for tattoos, my friend. I'm telling you.
How many tattoos do you have?
I have 3 currently, but once you get one, it's one of those things where all you can think about is more tattoos. So, I mean, I will have zillions by the time I die. I hope. They're amazing. They're addictive. They're extremely addictive. So.
I agree they're super addictive, but they're expensive.
Oh, yeah, sure. But it's something you can do once every other year or, you know, every 3 years or something. You of course, because you should definitely really think about what you're getting. But I'm telling you, if you're like, man, I would get this as a tattoo, get it as a small tattoo and you'll be hooked.
Yeah. So apart from the I Heart Prumate, what are the other 2 tattoos?
I have a science related space exploration tattoo as well as initials of somebody close to me as well.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing in my head the insignia. Is it on your pec where you would have the, you know, the little communicator thing on Star Trek?
I know it is not. It's actual space science. That particular tattoo is from the Voyager space probes. There's a whole big thing. I don't need to get into it, but you can look up the golden record, and I plan on getting that entire thing all over my body at some point, but I've just got a little piece of it right now.
I think pics or GTFO. I think we need to see this, Proulx.
I wouldn't mind sharing. I'm telling you though, tattoos, they're addictive.
They're super addictive.
Just get one.
Dave, do you have any tattoos?
I do not.
No? Clean skin, huh? Good for you.
Now.
I've got 3 myself. One that thankfully is the appropriate word for good luck or good omen as a Chinese symbol. It's not like, you know, American douchebag. It actually says, you know, good luck or good omen. That being said, if it's sideways, I should take a picture of this. So it's on my wrist. It's on my left wrist. That's my writing hand. And if the way you read it is if my hand is down, you would read it up my arm. And so, you know, that's the symbol, and it's a square with it's 2 lines and a vertical line. Now, what happens though is somebody pointed this out when I was working on a microscope, and so when you're working on a microscope, you know, you've got your face over a desk and your hands at 90 degrees holding it outward. And she looked over and saw that my tattoo said "ho." H-O. And you look at it sideways, and you're like, oh, dear, it does actually say ho, doesn't it? Yeah, you're not supposed to read it like that. It goes the other way. So, unintentional. I still love the design. I'm super happy with it. And then I have one on each shoulder. One is the alchemist symbol for Mercury. One of those.
Oh, cool.
The thing, the material in the potion of life that was supposed to transcend life and death. The liquid metal. It existed between phases. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then on my other shoulder is it's essentially a compass star. And it goes from like the base of my neck to nearly my like mid bicep, almost my elbow. And then it just kind of sprawls over the whole shoulder. So that was a big one. That did not feel great, but yeah, they're super addicting.
Was that the worst one for you?
Probably just because of the size. They had to use that giant, fat, like Sharpie-looking needle thing that had like the 7 needles in it, so it could do big swaths of ink. But the one on the wrist didn't feel great. I mean, that's a pretty tight. There's not a lot of padding in there. That's a pretty tight.
The process
piece of skin.
Not super fun. Not very enjoyable. But the results are awesome.
Agreed. Okay, enough tattoo talk. I think we should talk about. Actually, we have some questions for Doughboyee here specific. So I think we're going to start with those. All right. So listener feedback time. We had 2 requests. One from NBA Kirkland, one from Elefet77, and they said, "All right. We have to know the origin of your gamertag, Doughboyee." And I know I've asked you before, and you may have even mentioned it on the podcast. If not this one, you definitely did it on the Achievement Hounds podcast. But for all of our new listeners, or those who maybe don't remember, would you please regale us with how wonderfully 90s your gamer tag is?
Wonderfully 90s. Yeah, back in high school, basically I was pegged as the Pillsbury Doughboy. So that's the base of the thing. But we couldn't just stop there. We had to add a little bit extra to it. And this was also about the time that everyone was doing that West Side thing. So, yeah, it just became Doughboyee, and that was how I got it. Very plain, simple, easy, but it stuck with me.
It's exactly why I enjoy saying it so much, because it's such a throwback, and I embrace because I think when I used to say, I would just say Doughboy, and I was like, well, I don't know, why does he have this extra E on there? That's just weird. Or the 2 extra E's, I guess. And then after hearing you, it's like, well, now I have to do it justice by giving it its full play. So yes, that is just wonderful. So there you go, NBA Kirkland, Elefet77. Thanks for the chime in there. ZZ Urban Spaceman, or I'm sorry, $$ Urban Spaceman.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, follow up to what game would you play 1,000 times for a million Gamerscore? He had a comment. He said his answer is Batman Arkham Asylum. Actually, we don't know your answer, Doughboy. What would do you have a game that you would play over and over and over and over to get to a million Gamerscore? You'd have to play it 1,000 times.
I don't know. I really I don't have that many completions. So as far as what I've completed and would like to do again, I don't know if there really is anything. It's mostly been
technically
easy
you don't have to complete it. I
mean,
you could just keep getting 800 over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and maybe it's if I had more time as well, maybe I would complete it. I would say I do have Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC. So if anybody ever wants to play, I just jump on whichever platform they're on and can play with them.
Well,
so that's probably one that I really enjoy, put a lot of time into. So
yeah. All right. So back to Harrigan's question. He says, all right, Batman Arkham Asylum, which he's just finished 6th Xbox stack. He loves this game so much he bought it for 2. He did the 2 PlayStation 3 stacks and the Steam stack, and he does plan to do the PlayStation 4 version. So his question, what game do you love so much that you would stack it on other platforms? I think I know your answer, Proulx.
Rocket League. Yeah. I would play Rocket League over and over and over and over and over and over. And Halo 2. I always, it's these games, I don't know what it is. It's like these pure multiplayer just focused on fun games. I don't know. I guess I could pick some other things. Like I would definitely play Mass Effect again, the original. I would play Mass Effect on any platform. And kind of along the same lines, KOTOR, which I have played like on iPad randomly because it was $2 and it's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I love that game. It's amazing. So,
are you gonna play that on backwards compatibility?
That's actually a really good question. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, and I don't know that. I don't know how the licensing is gonna work now that Disney owns Star Wars. It's actually a really interesting question. If it comes to backwards compatibility, yeah, I'll play it again. I will. Absolutely. Okay. I love that game.
I'm holding you to it.
All right, I'll do it.
I forgot my question. Oh, mine. So I'm curious if it would count because I would probably say Destiny, but technically it's a different game on PlayStation. There's a bunch of extra content in there that I don't have on the Xbox. So, is that a game because it matches or? And actually, it's a pretty long game. I'm not entirely sure I would, but I guess if I'm just playing it for fun, right? I'm not trying to get my million Gamerscore out of it. Although, didn't I say Destiny was my million Gamerscore game anyway? So that could be it, to be honest. I am excited for Destiny 2, but I think I mentioned, like, now that I've seen Anthem, I'm like, I don't know. that one looks pretty darn cool, too. So I might get on that train, although I did say the same thing about The Division, which I have yet to start. I'm sure I'll get sucked into it at some point, but, it's on the list. What about you, Dave? You got a game that you would cross? Well, I guess would it be Plants vs. Zombies? Is that your cross-platform? You already played it on. You have 3 versions of it.
Yeah, I think what's left just the PlayStation to get. So that would be the only one.
Do they have it on Ouya? Is that?
Wow, I forgot about the Ouya. I can't. That is okay. Digging deep.
So not so much, huh?
No, not so much. I think maybe if I could bring a game to the Xbox, that way I could stack it on other platforms, like maybe an old school Nintendo game. Like, told you I've got a little obsession with Kid Icarus. Like, that's one of my things that I grab on every single console.
Sure. Okay.
So that's why I've got the mini back here sitting. I did get that just because I wanted to make sure I got it just to have Kid Icarus on another thing. So.
Do love that Kid Icarus. I will say that.
Icarus is great. The origin of the eggplant, man.
That's right. That is right. That's absolutely true. And the flying nose glasses guys, and that was such a weird game, man. Mm-hmm. That was a weird game, but it was so great.
I remember, like, of course, how old was I when that thing? I was probably 8 or so, but like, I remember that just being so insanely difficult.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But all
it was
the games
back in the day when
like
you didn't care if it was difficult because you had 5 games. You didn't have 55 different games to your disposal. That was, and you played that game for hours and hours and hours and tried to get further and further. So
yeah,
I think that's why I've got that little attachment to it.
And also, every time you restarted the game, you got to hear that amazing music again. So that was what always motivated me. Man, what a great choice. Good pick, man. That's given me nostalgia chills at this point.
Yeah. So that is a perfect segue into the follow-up question here from Miserly Pluto. He says, what is your favorite feature that's in modern games that never existed in old games? And what are those old games, features do you kind of miss? And I think for me, thinking of Kid Icarus as an old type game, and I think one of the things I miss, and I don't know if I truly miss it, but like that level of difficult, that painful difficulty where it's like, and I'm not talking Dark Souls difficult, like that's difficult in a different level, but I'm thinking of like just where games are just kind of hard, and I certainly don't miss the password saves or that kind of stuff. Like I so appreciate the modern saved game. Like that's great, but then to some extent you can abuse the save system, like in Rare Replay, where you can emulate or save, and it's like, oh well, okay, am I breaking it now? Am I taking out how difficult this is supposed to be? And some games still can reclaim that. Like, I think of those traditionally difficult platformers. That's still, if you have tight platforming mechanics, you can make a difficult game like that. But I don't want it to be punishingly difficult. I don't think that's fun. Like, there's a fine balance, right? Like we've said on the show before, like Rayman Legends is kind of that fine balance of very difficult, certainly to master and do those things, but not unfair and not, absurd, like a Super Meat Boy or a Cloudberry Kingdom or, whatever. Some of those other, VVVVV, some of those platformers that are just obscene. So that's kind of one of the features I'm thinking of. What about you, Proulx? You got something in mind?
Well, I mean, obviously, for retroactively adding in systems to older games, I guess it goes without saying, but my first choice would be achievements, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I didn't think about that. That's almost the layup answer. I should have come up with that one.
No, I don't even know if it really should count as an answer, but I mean, imagine if you could somehow have held a score, or at least some sort of something from the NES, or from your Genesis or whatever, all the way through. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. As to, I kind of want a little different in the other way when they're asking, about old games do you miss now? I would say like kind of the mystery, which I think the internet has essentially removed.
That's a good one.
The only way that you could beat a lot of those old games was by ridiculously extensive trial and error, or by picking up a guide.
Yeah.
Or, as most people, I think, experienced back in those days, was with by knowing people. It was a social thing. It was like, how you made it past this level? How the heck did you? Or what do you? So you're playing Super Mario 3 and you held down this whole time and you got behind the clouds and stuff. Like, how did you do that? And it wasn't so easy. And I guess I don't know. It feels kind of like romanticizing a different time. But I guess what I would say is it just seems so quick now, the turnaround between knowing nothing about a game and everything, and back then when there was still kind of a mystery about it. Sure.
I mean, it's tough, like with games, like the Artifex Mundi games, or Thimbleweed Park or something like that, where where's the threshold with yes, I'm totally willing to figure this out on my own and I'm gonna really do my best, or well, I don't want to be stuck, so I'm just gonna kind of take a quick peek. I totally get that. That's a fantastic answer. What about you, Dave? You have any sort of old school things that you just relics that you miss?
I think I'm gonna flip flop on both of these answers, because one of my favorite features that I would want in a modern game. There used to be this thing called couch co-op that seems to be disappearing. I'd like to have some of the more mainstream games get back to that.
Yeah.
But with the old school games, if we weren't able to do couch co-op, which, they're bringing to like the Switch right now, they're bringing back all those Nintendo games where they are putting, you will be able to play online with people, a 2-player game. So I think that's one thing that we would have loved to have had back in the day if there was something set up for that, back in that time. So
yeah,
I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, right? I think it's almost, you kind of want both, right? Where it's like, right. Okay, I really want couch co-op, but like if I can't get someone, you better give me a way to matchmake, and specifically like matchmake with my friends,
right?
Because if I got to queue up to some server and try and find a rando, like that's great and all, that's awesome, but with how quickly some of those populations start dying. I mean, like even with, an example I just had recently with Battleborn, where, at this point, you could go in there and pretty much lock down a lobby all you wanted. And so I was like, I'd just give this a shot and have some fun with it. Can't do it. Because there's nobody there. I couldn't even get a game. I tried, you have to get a 10-man lobby to even start a multiplayer game. And we got up to 6 one time. And you see people drop out and be like, oh, okay. Well, somebody's connecting. Oh, it's the same guy. Yeah, he's back. Okay. Oh no, he left. He left. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Up there, he's back again. Yep. He's just going to keep trying. He doesn't realize there's literally only 6 of us here in the planet on this game. He'll figure it out.
Here's the thing: give the gamers the choice. And I think for me, the first one that knocked it really out of the park was Halo 3, where it may have happened beforehand, but it's the first thing I can think of off the top of my head, where you can play all modes. Local, you can play all modes online. It's Halo kind of worked towards that from the first one on, but I think Halo 3 was probably the best example of it. System link, couch co-op, online. Every mode that you want to play, you can play it and you can have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And it's really, if you give the gamers the options, they'll use it. And why not? Because it seems to be, to us laymen, and maybe it's not the case, but it seems to be something that would be kind of easy to do for a lot of games that don't offer either online or the local stuff. So I actually totally agree. That's a great example of a feature that, man, so if you're building a multiplayer focused game, just let us play with our friends if they're here or if they're not.
Yeah. Agreed. Hey, Proulx, Jelly Bigfoot asks, when's the next debate?
That's a good question.
It's a super good question.
I know that there was some discussion between if Randy and I wanted to debate about whether Telltale games are games or not. I mean, he's going to lose it. It's a stupid argument, but if the community wants to hear it, we could do it, I would say, in the next month or so. If not, if any of you have talked, you've listened to us week by week, you kind of get a sense of our personalities. Maybe you've boosted with us or played some games with us. We have different views on things. Like, for example, Fream loves the terrible game of Destiny, and I recognize that it's awful garbage. If you want to see that kind of debate, let us know. If there's anything that the listeners want to see, let us know. But until we hear differently, I think we'll go forward with the Telltale debate.
I think it's the biggest challenge is that it's time consuming. Like, if you want to do it well, you want to plan it out. Like, you got to take some time. You got to put into it, and so you want to feel particularly passionate about it.
Totally.
And so, it's I guess maybe that could be. Oh, I don't know. But yes, I love the idea of asking the community. Chime in, let us know what you want to hear. I know we've had some suggestions in the past, but again, like Proulx said, our personalities, what we can get on board with. And to be honest, if you've got your own something that you're truly passionate about, I wouldn't have a problem if you got in on this and tried to take one of us out.
That'd be really cool. Like, for you just pick whatever. Like, for example, you love Saints Row 4 and you want to debate Randy about how awesome Saints Row 4 is, or something along those lines. Anything that we kind of harp on week after week after week. Maybe you're a staunch defender of Rock Band 4. Maybe there are things that you feel really passionate about. Definitely reach out to us. And if it's something that would be interesting and fun for the listeners, that would be something I'd totally get on board with.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave,
but that was for patrons only, right? Fream.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Smart. Look at this. All he has is ideas. JJ Aldana asks, in your opinion, what game has killed off a popular series for you? For him, it was Tony Hawk 5 and Skylanders. Like, he loved that old school Spyro stuff, and Tony Hawk, of course, Tony Hawk. I think, what does Macca call it? Any game that tragically fails is that they Tony Hawked it. Just put out garbage for the sake of garbage. So, those two aside, maybe you would agree with those. Do you have a game that has ruined a franchise for you? Dave, you have something in mind?
I'm going to go half franchise. And what I mean by that is Forza Horizon. I think is just the better platform that I prefer over the standard Forza games. So at this point, I used to get all the previous Forza games, but once Horizon came out, I tried the next Forza Motorsport. I guess that would have been 5. And then I got Forza 2, and especially with the new things they've added into 3, I think I'm skipping every other. I'm going to stick with just the Horizon series for now.
I can see that. And I'm on that boat too. Like, I have such a hard time playing like traditional simulator racing, where I'm such an arcadey guy.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something short, sweet, and super fun. Like that's exactly what I'm in. So yeah, that's a great answer. Proulx, what about you? Do you have
So the first thing that came to mind was I played Assassin's Creed when it first came out. I thought it was really good. Then Assassin's Creed 2 came out. It was amazing. And then this is exactly where it kind of falls out for me in memory. Revelation. I think it was Brotherhood first, then Revelations. But it could be backwards. So forgive me if I'm getting that wrong. Basically, I played through the first one and then got like a third of the way through that second one, which I think was Revelations, and I was like, nope, that's it, I'm out. And I picked up Black Flag when it was free, and it was awesome. But again, it's not a series I've chased down since then. And it got to the point where, 3-4 games in,
yeah,
I've seen everything that we're doing here, and now you're only adding stuff that I don't like this tower defense stuff, and it was just like I was out at that point. I'm like, okay, I've had my fill, and maybe I'll catch up with it every now and again when like the good ones come out.
Yeah,
but I don't need to play every year anymore, and that was probably the closest example I could think of.
That's a great example. I would totally echo those sentiments. That's probably on my list of games that just ended it for me. Like, and I can't even, like, I put it on my random to-do list. Actually, I have an Assassin's Creed Revelations achievement to do, because I'm essentially done with that game. Like, I'm in mop-up mode on it, and I just can't get myself to, like, finish it off, because I don't really care. Like, that, and knowing that the next one is 3, it's like, ugh. That just doesn't sound like fun at all. And of course the compulsion in me is to do 3 so that I can finally get to 4, which I think would be super fun. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a great example. Mine, I think probably that's more personal. And actually, I'm really glad this happened, because I would not be as into achievements as I am now without it. Is Call of Duty. And I'm trying to think which one, like where I'm going to put my foot in the ground and say, like, that's the one that ended it for me, because Modern Warfare 2, high water mark as far as I'm concerned. And then I got Black Ops, and I played a ton of Black Ops, but I think I almost played it out of spite. Like, I didn't necessarily enjoy it. I was never a big Treyarch fan, even though I think they're actually probably making the better versions of the games now. I was never a big Treyarch guy. I was way more into Infinity Ward, and then Infinity Ward kind of fell apart on itself. And so somewhere between Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3 is where I was like, this is obscene. Like, and it really came down to the DLC model. Like, the games were just iterative. And so then I'm paying $60 for what is essentially glorified map packs. Maybe you can consider the campaign as something new or exciting, but really you're paying $60 for a set of map packs, and then $15 for another 3 maps 4 times a year. It's like, yeah, no, not doing that. That is obscene. You're price gouging. It is just awful. So I'm out. Thanks. And I hung up my controller from that standpoint and have been focused on achievements pretty much since. So thank you, Call of Duty, by the way, for doing that, even though I would contend that this is probably worse than that addiction. This achievement hunting addiction, but yeah, who knows?
I would also love to give a runner up, because going through this stuff now, Halo 4 would also be a jumping off point for me.
Yeah.
It technically like, I'm still playing these games, but I don't want to anymore. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 1, of course, amazing games. ODST was kind of a misstep for me, but no big deal. It was supposed to be an expansion. Reach was amazing, and then Halo 4. And man, I have a special level of hatred for Halo 4. And then, of course, I still played Halo 5, but I'm not really interested in future Halos at this point. 4 and 5 soured the franchise, one of my favorite franchises in video game history. And I'm sure at this point now I'm just going to keep going with it, but it's like it's lost everything that made it fun and special and awesome. So that would be my runner-up.
Yeah, that's too bad. It happens, right? I mean, I think that's why we clamor for new IPs all the time, is that it's so hard to keep improving upon something that you really enjoyed, because you're growing up, your likes are changing, and they need to change and update with kind of what's happening in the industry, and sometimes they take a misstep, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now you just ruined it. Good one. And it's like they had the best intentions. Like, they obviously didn't set out to be like, you know what, I think this Halo's run its course, so we're going to go ahead and just sabotage this, if that's cool. Like, clearly that's not what they did. But they just, who were they getting information from where they were just so misguided on what people wanted? So, it's too bad. All right, let's lighten it up a little bit. We do have a question from Beer Me. Actually, he started with a question in our Discord chat, or my Discord chat, and it was long. It was like multiple paragraphs, and then Fug came in and said, "Didn't they like literally just answer that question a couple of weeks ago?" To which Skeptical Mario agreed and said, "Yeah, it was like almost exactly a month ago." And Beer Me then replies, says, "Oh crap. That does ring a bell. Scratch that. Okay, new question. I am more curious about," and he mentions that we talked about this in our Zombie Army Trilogy sessions. Why is it that true achievements can track in-game data like time played, kills, but the games themselves don't have any achievement tracking? He says, as a non-computer savvy person, I would assume TA can track it, that there's no reason that the game couldn't, the in-game achievements. I mean, they are tracking. I mean, that's ultimately how they run a scan against a set of data to see if you've satisfied that a condition or whatever. And he says, specifically, I'm looking at you, City Skylines, because you would have been in the top 10 for completions, but he's got no idea. There's no tracker, so he can't watch it. He has no idea. And then the lack of day-night cycles, he's like, I have no idea how far I am in those games. So, Fuggs thinks it's lazy devs, which then Rocker says hashtag triggered. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to say devs are lazy. That's definitely not what they are. But why is it that we can track? TA can grab stuff like in-game data, but can't grab individual achievement type data and stuff like that. And why don't they games turn that on? It seems strange. Do you guys have any insight, any idea, any comments on, or even any games that are particularly frustrating for you that are like, yeah, why? Gosh, this tracking is just annoying. I mean, I'm gonna echo, because this is why it came up, was for Zombie Army Trilogy, is when you do something, for instance, like, you hit one of those milestone marks, like, hey, 50 headshots, nice job. It's like, well, okay, that's great, but I need 500 over the course of this game. So, I'd love to know and not just wait for 100 and think, okay, well, let's see, how long ago did I do that? Oh, that was like 4 sessions ago, so I'm probably at 190. That's dumb. Like, you're clearly tracking it in-game. Give me a way to look it up.
I guess I'm a little confused because I've never come across this actually. Like, so for example, Titanfall, which we talk about, the Xbox One trackers work for Titanfall achievements. Now, I assume TA pulls from that same data. So you play Titanfall, you win a match, whatever, it goes to that percentage, and that percentage, the tracker, is sent to whatever database, blah, 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 blah. And then TA pulls from that same database. I have never come across a game, and maybe this exists, but I've never come across a game that doesn't have trackers on the Xbox that does have them on TA. I assume those two systems are linked.
Yeah, no, they are. Yeah, so,
Okay.
so like, for instance, in Zombie Army Trilogy, I can't go to TA and see that I have X amount of achievements, or X amount of headshots toward this. And similarly, I then go to the game and find that data out. Like, yeah, it doesn't exist that way.
Right.
His comment more is, like, TA can still scan the game data that's provided. I mean, that's how you get time play, because it's uploading to the Xbox information like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, is it simply that the game isn't saying, okay, well, every time it checks in with the Xbox, upload the time played, number of achievements, Gamerscore, blah, blah, blah. Don't bother with achievement tracking. Like, we'll just say, just take that code out. Don't worry about it. I mean, is that ultimately what's happening? Is that the dev just says, yeah, that's not important. Just scan for these vital things to connect to the system, and that's what TA's reading off of. It's not going into the game specifically.
I don't think it's the... Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is right. I wouldn't say that it's like the devs specifically saying, don't track this, but it is them not including tracking for those things, if that makes sense. Not putting something in is not the same as leaving something out, if that makes any sense. So, for example, like Titanfall, they have great achievement tracking on the Xbox achievement system already, but Killer Instinct has no achievement tracking at all. And so you have to play 200 matches with each character. You never know where you're at. You get it or you don't. You're not aware of that information. So at some point somebody coded it in a way that says, oh yeah, send the information to Microsoft. Hey, one more match played. And if you don't do that, then we're not going to get that. I mean, this is one of the things that I think should be made mandatory. If you're going to have these kinds of iterative things, why not make them so everybody knows where they are? This would improve the achievement system overall, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Dave, you have any comments?
No, I'm thinking it's along the same lines, that basically the dev themselves looks as the achievement as maybe not as important to be tracked, but just to know that, yes, it got unlocked. So on their end, all they've got is an on-off switch as far as, yeah, it's unlocked. You've gotten XYZ amount of hits on a certain character or whatever it might be. And then on the flip side, some of them do actually track and report back to Microsoft, and that's where TA is getting those numbers. So I think, yeah, you guys are right on the money there. Yeah.
And it's, it probably comes down to how those developers feel the achievement system works for them, because clearly, I mean, we even talked about it last show about why we hunt achievements and all the different things the reasons that we do the achievement hunting. And similarly, I think a dev will look at that and be like, no, the achievement system's stupid. Just play my game. I don't need to give you little rewards or toasts for doing crap in my game. Enjoy the game. That's why I made it. Enjoy the story. Whereas others are like, no, it's awesome. Like, I love the fact that we have achievements because it gets people interested. I pull in a different community. People are doing things like, it's so common. You get those multiplayer ones where, it encourages people to go online and play because, like Titanfall, for instance. I mean, we're neck deep into Titanfall still, like keeping that population going. Not to say that we're single-handedly doing it, but that's one example of a game that I have no reason to go back into multiplayer, but they've tied achievements to it, and I'm interested in those. And so, yeah, we've got people populating the Japan West servers. I guarantee Respawn, if they're interested, could go and look and say, we have got a very large contingent of people randomly popping into Japanese West servers. That's really strange. We probably shouldn't shut those down, right? Since that actually getting some playtime. Maybe the Australian ones we can get rid of. Nobody's ever there. But anyway, it's I think ultimately it is just they don't necessarily value achievements, and so they don't really think they need to track them. Like, they're doing the minimum by unlocking them appropriately at the right time. Even that's a stretch for some devs, right? We get a lot that show up with 0 gamer score and are broken. So, thankfully they at least fix those in most cases. Yeah, it is what it is. And I think that is it for community questions. Although, I guess we have our own internal question. Like I said, Doughboyee, he had the brilliant idea of reaching out to our community since it is mid-July, right? We just passed the halfway mark in the calendar year. So, how are we doing on those goals? Doughboy, I'll let you take over. Why don't you introduce this bit?
All right, yeah, so I reached out on the forums and asked, we did at the beginning of the year our 2017 goals and wanted to find out if anybody's been still looking at them and where they're tracking. And I got about 6-7 responses here, so I'll try to go through them rather quickly.
Sounds like a lot of people are still, they're at least in their mind, like they're maybe semi-actively doing it, but not necessarily like, I feel like it's crunch time, I'm going to miss out. Like, they're thinking, well, I got 6 months, so, I'm looking at it. I'm on track, but I could probably, come November, really going to have to focus kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think it depends on what you actually set your goals to. A lot of people put goals well within reach. Other people did actually try to go way outside the box and try to do something different. So most of the gamer score goals on most of the people, that looks like they're well on their way to get. There's only a couple that said, no, I think I'm actually going to miss that. Most of the completions, they look like they're on the ball, different things like that. So let's see here. Minpin said they wanted to reach 100,000. Right now they're at 95,233. So by the end of the year, I think they can do that. It's not that much more to pick up the pace there to get that finished off. Also wanted to get to 66.6 completion percentage. That's the one they don't think they're going to get because of bean dives and other things that they've done through there.
They sabotage their own progress.
Yeah.
For another stupid event.
Finish all of the monthly gamer tag challenges. They have done that so far. Try to be top 10 every month in RTDL. That one, they said they were going to miss that one. Let's see who else. Shababble said that in January set goals to break the top 100 leaderboard platformers by Gamerscore, and he's 52% of the way to that right now. With 50% of the time to go, obviously. Beat a specific gamer, Daniel JJ14, is at 44% of the way there with 51% to go. And
he was the runner-up in UHH2, wasn't he? I think he lost to Matthias.
Gotcha.
That's who that was.
And then gets a total of 100 completed games, and they're at 61 right now. So they're definitely looking to get 1 and 3 done. Number 2 is going to be tough just because, like you said, that, yep, there you go, Team UHH is still in it. So
yeah.
Skeptical Mario, bean diving screwed up all of my completion goals, and the rest are going pretty well. So that's where we are with that one. He's actually been updating through that forum post, actually been updating his post every couple of months and editing it through. So was looking to get 10 platformer games completed. He's got 8 completed at this point. Reached 24 hours worth of preloaded achievements, currently sitting at 21.5 hours. Preload the Stampers Forever for rare replay. He's got 318 of 330 stamps done. Reach an owned completion percentage of 80% with lots remaining. This one I've ruined because I learned to bean dive. And then was trying to lower the backlog by 1 game per month. This one is only off once again because of the bean dive. My backlog was going good, but it went up by 24 in the month of July. So that's that one.
Nice.
Who else we got here? CS Geek Squad wanted to get to 300K. Oops.
That's my TA goal, 300K. I'm 75% of the way there, and with obviously 52% progress on the time. But I'm well on my way for my TA goal. How's that? I assume his is a gamer score goal?
Yeah, his 300 TA is what he was looking to get.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm killing it on my TA. Gamerscore, not so much. Yeah. Which, I mean, is kind of cool. Like, I'm doing harder things, but my Gamerscore goal was 200,000. And let's see, what am I off by? I'm off by 32,000 Gamerscore. And so that's 45%. So, I mean, I'm kind of close. I need to turn it up a little bit. I thought maybe I would last longer in GTA SE, so that would help. But instead, I'm not.
Well, CS Geek Squad started with 212 and is currently at 270, so predicting to be done by October with that. Wanted to make it to at least June in the team completion, which he did. So as it turned out, couldn't quit our day jobs and went out in the period 24, which was last Sunday in June.
Which is like so close.
Mm-hmm. Wanted to make it to the semifinals, but once again went out in the 23rd week. And wanted to finish Fream's completion challenge, starting to focus more on the completions now that GTA SC is over. I've completed 16 games so far and have about 10 more categories out of the 30 that I can come up with. McLovin Legend wanted only one put down was to hit 400K. Is currently sitting at 349,893. So I'd better put some work into it. Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
Yeah, just a bit.
Big L had a completion percentage of 65% before the end of the year, and he has achieved that at this point. So he did get that one finished off. He's only 6,747 away from 500,000 TA, so he'll definitely complete that before the end of the year. And only 12,468 away from 275,000 gamer score. And then the only other one that he had was that he wanted to be at 275 completed games, currently sitting at 238. So if he's going to kick off those other two, he should be able to do that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And then finally mine. Finally want to break the 100,000 gamer score. I should be at 80 by the end of this weekend, so that's only another 1,000 a week to the end of the year, so I should be able to do that no problem. I wanted to double my completed games from 45 to 90. I'm sitting at 55 now, but a lot of them are down to the last one or two achievements, so I should be able to push through some of those. Hopefully some of them through the end of this month, so I can get some of those, what did you call it? What was the contest that you called it? The anti-bean dive?
Yeah, the anti-bean dive.
So I should be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Achievement streak of 50 days. Totally failed that. Didn't even break my previous long streak of 23 days. Yeah, the achievement streak I kind of gave up on. Like you said, it's just one of those things where if you have to do that and you're not thinking about the rest of the stuff, it just might not fall into place.
It just stresses you out. Mm-hmm. It just at least stresses me out for no reason. So today I had to go to the DMV, okay, right? The Department of Motor Vehicles, it's like just one of the worst places on the planet. Like, they're just awful. And for whatever reason, everybody and their mother had to go there today. And speaking of somebody's mother, this woman who showed up was a complete train wreck. Oh my God. Like, it was actually nauseous to look at how disgusting she was. But anyway, that's beside the point. I get in there and like there is just mass of people. And so you have to like type in this little kiosk to tell them what you're going to do. And so I needed to get, since my car was totaled in the hail damage, I needed to get a duplicate title. Like I lost my title. To be honest, I don't think they sent me one. But regardless, I needed a new title. So that's whatever. And my little ticket comes out and it says DT002, right? So duplicate title, and I'm the second person today to who needs that. Of course, it's still a first come first serve type thing. So they're announcing like renew number 191, renew number 192, okay, driver's license number 95. And so like all these things are iterating, and I'm looking around like, okay, how many people are here in front of me? Because I don't know. I can't really effectively track where I'm at. I got there at 3:45, and I had to get over to the gym at 4:30. And I'm thinking, and the gym is like literally across the street. I'm like, okay, it's not because I should have plenty of time. And all of a sudden, the counter goes up, and they're like, "Oh, here we go, R whatever." I'm like, "Damn it, it's not me." Okay, and I'm watching the clock, thinking, I gotta leave, but there's only like one or two people that I recognize who might have been here before me. I don't know. I think I might be coming up next. I gotta leave in 3 minutes. I might be next though. I gotta leave in 3 minutes, and it's like just the anxiety of just waiting and just having this burden of knowing that I needed to sit there, but I was going to miss out on something. Like, that is just annoying. And so I felt the same way when I was trying to keep an achievement streak going, where it was like 11:30, or, since I don't get to game until, 10 p.m., it's like I got 2 hours to get an achievement. But if I'm boosting with somebody or people, like, okay, hey, I got to get off at 11:45 so I can get 15 minutes, and then like what happened with Beer Me when he's keeping his streak going, and all of a sudden he failed on it. It's like in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I gotta keep it going. Here's the worst.
Just a little tip here. If you want to do a streak and you're thinking you're not going to hit it, it's going to be a rough day for you. Start your day whenever you have the free time, whether it's before you go to work, when you get home, as soon as you get home, right before you start boosting with a group, find a Telltale game that you haven't played and do it. Because at most, you have 20 minutes in between achievements, and you're going to get that achievement that day. And there's enough games and enough stacks that you're going to be covered for at least a year or even maybe more at this point. I'm telling you, it's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah. Getting achievements is not an issue. Like, I can boost. I mean, with Tarragon's game library, I could boost it. I could do the never-ending bean dive that those guys are still doing, where they unlock a new achievement in a new game every single day that they've been doing for 4 years now. Like, I could do that, but here's the thing: I can't do it when I get home. It's like I literally cannot turn on my Xbox until 10 p.m. I mean, technically, I could probably turn it on at dinner time, like right before dinner. But I also need to live with these other human beings in my house, and they'll get real mad. Hey, I need to keep a meaningless streak alive, so if you could just not bother me for a little bit while I and play a game that's family friendly, since I have two kids running around who. Anyway, it's just not important to me. That is what it is. So, but there are, Dave. There's still plenty of days to hit 50. Mm-hmm. You could do it.
Yep, I had initially set it to do it before my birthday in April, but yeah, if I wanted to do it before the end of the year, I'm sure I could focus on it and do it at this point.
I remember because I set a similar goal last year. I think it was last year, and it was one of those I knew that I was for my maybe it was 2 years ago, my brother's bachelor party, and it's I was going to be out of town with no way to do it, and so I'm counting the days from that day where I knew my streak would break, and it's okay, I absolutely have to start one now because I cannot miss a day like that. This is it, and now again, stress for no reason. Mm-hmm. I'd much rather have stress for from the random to-do list instead.
Then awesome. The only other two things that I had on mine was to complete the Connect Labs games, which I haven't started, but the reason I haven't started was because I focused on the other one that was unlock all the monthly achievements in all the Windows Microsoft games. So Solitaire, Sudoku, all of those had the Marathon achievement and the Perfection achievement, basically to play all of them. I am down to one. I have to get just the Marathon achievement in the Windows 8 version of Microsoft Solitaire. Otherwise, I've completed all of the other ones that are available, whether it be text game or the Twist Tiles or Sudoku and all the other ones. So that's what I'm left with. And then one that wasn't on ours, but I did actually it caught my eye in the Twitter stream here. Nasty Master Daddy is at 999,999 as of right now.
Nice.
So he will hit his million. He actually hit that 2 days ago and has been sitting on it. He is doing a special stream on Saturday, so by the time we hear this, he will be at his million. So he'll be the 7th person, I believe, to hit that 1 million mark. So just nice for him, because I know he's been a part of the community as well. So
yeah, nice work, Nasty. That's awesome. What about you, Proulx? Do you have did you make some goals?
Well, I certainly did. I made 1 hard goal and 2 soft goals, which is also what she said, I believe, but that's neither here nor there. No, so I did set an actual, on TA, I set a goal to hit 250 this year. I'm on track. I'm at 65% of that goal right now. So I think I'll be okay for that. I also set a soft goal to do 70% completion, which I also hit 2 weeks ago, and then included all DLC, which bumped me down significantly.
How significant? I don't remember you telling us a number. You had some
I did.
speculation.
Well, I was on the show last week, but since you don't listen, I didn't.
I totally listened.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I'm just
he's still back at E3, remember?
But did you? No, I listened to our show fresh every time.
Yeah, it bumped me down. As soon as I hit 70%, I changed my.
I knew you did that. I don't remember hearing the number.
Yeah, it was 63, so it was 7%. It bumped me down 7%.
That is pretty significant.
Yeah. So I did hit I did hit that goal, and it's early enough in the year that I'm thinking. This is ambitious, but I would love to get back up to 70% by the end of the year.
That is ambitious.
It's very ambitious. The other soft goal / ambitious goal that I set for myself in the beginning of the year was to get as much of the Halo games done as possible. And it took me some time, but I've actually been actively working on them now. I finished Halo ODST up. We are on track to complete Halo 3 in the next week or 2. Halo 4 won't be far behind. Reach doesn't seem to be that difficult either. There's a good chance I can get a good chunk of the Halo games done, except for MCC, which I'm already at 50% anyways, and some of the smaller stuff like Halo Wars and the Spartan Assault, Spartan Strike stuff done. So I'm actually really good as far as my kind of tracked goals for this year, and I'm excited to keep going, and I'm looking forward to what else I can get done.
Awesome. I made 10 gaming goals, 10 non-gaming goals, and I'm 5 for 5 on my non-gamings, so that's good. I won't repeat them here. I'll do it at the end of the year. As far as my gaming goals, my 2017 completion challenge, yeah, I'm working at it. I think I'm at 8 completions on that one, maybe more now. I have it on a different tab, but I'm on my way. I mentioned my both my Gamerscore goal, or no, I didn't mention my Gamerscore goal. I mentioned my my TA score. My Gamerscore was 200. Oh, I did mention that one. 200,000, 300,000 for gamers or TA. On track there. I have an achievement count of 7,500, which is an increase of 1,100. I think usually I'm about 1,000. I get about 1,000 a year, so it's a little over with my pace. But I'm doing great on that. I'm up to about 66% on that one. So nice progress on that. It certainly helps that I've been playing a lot of ID games to do that. Complete Destiny again, which I did, and now that's absolutely done, right? Because the Destiny 1 is over, so I don't have to worry about new DLC sneaking up and taking my completion away. So that's great. Get an Elite controller was on my list. I got one of those for my birthday, so check that one off. So far, I have qualified for every Gamertag challenge, and I have not been kicked out of the random to-do list. So those are on track. Completing Disney Infinities. I have 2 open Disney Infinities that this refers to. And, yeah, I mean, technically if I focused on them and did it, but I kind of just want random to-do lists to tell me to do that. I don't think it's going to happen when I only have, like, 8 achievements between them all to out of the 3,000, the random likelihood that that's going to show up. Yeah, not likely. To be honest, though, actually, one of them did show up, and it was only to get 90 feats instead of the 100 and something that you're supposed to get to complete the game. And I think that's about it. I should look up my my completion here, though, my completion challenge, because I'm at what's my count here? Little control over. I'm at 11. So 11 of 30. That's not terrible, but I have mapped some things out. And it's like the games that I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'll just slide those in are pretty short completions. I'm just kind of chipping away with, well, again, focus on the random to-do list. I mean, that's my primary driving factor right now in what motivates me to play. So there you have it. Those are our goals halfway through the year. Feeling good. I'm on track. I'm making progress, and we'll see what happens for the rest of 2017. So what? I mean, we don't have to plan for the rest of 2017 right this minute, but we should have some semblance of what we're going to do this upcoming week. What are you guys going to play, Dave? What's on your agenda for the week? You got some gaming in mind?
I'm actually looking to, my son keeps asking me to play Minecraft lately, and I haven't sat down with him. So I'm actually going to sit down and play some Minecraft with the kids and see if I can knock off some more of those achievements on the Xbox Ones. So that's probably what I'm looking at.
I've had fun doing that with my kids, but I also, once you unlock a good portion of them, then you're just like, oh, this is just a chore now.
Keeping an eye on what they're doing versus and how's it going to help you or hurt you.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of noticed with him is just when he knows that when I'm playing with him, he is not to go into creative mode because that messes with the achievements. Yep, and he can't get them.
My son is all about creative mode right now, and it's just infuriating. I'm like, go get some Legos or something. Just, go play in real life. Stay off my Xbox if you're not going to be earning achievements. So that'll be fun. Minecraft, anything else?
And actually, again with the family, I did get my wife to play Overcooked the other day, and she had a blast.
Go? Oh, good.
Yeah, and one of the things she said was, "This thing is so realistic. I'm cutting these onions and I'm crying," because she was literally laughing so much. So that was absolutely great.
Wait, was she crying because she was laughing, or because people were yelling so loud?
Maybe a little bit of both, but
I was listening to a developer on, I think, Giant Bomb's podcast during E3, and he was talking about playing Overcooked with his family, and he's like, he's been playing with his 2 daughters, I think, and then his wife, who doesn't want to play the game, and he's like, but she's like the Gordon Ramsay of everything, and so she's just yelling at all 3 of them and coordinating them without actually holding a controller. I'm like, that's probably the way to go, is to have the manager and then you just have to execute. But because I was thinking, just trying to jump between the 2, man, that's tough.
You were talking about playing Overcooked earlier, Fream, and I was going to ask you, I've never played solo, but I know that all of my experiences with Overcooked break down into everybody screaming at each other. So does that mean you just yell at yourself when you get real frustrated? Like, oh, what are you doing? You need to do better. Because that's kind of how I see it going down.
So I don't verbally emit that from my mouth, but I am very conflicted at times, especially when I've got one guy who's like, okay, all right, I'm going to set you to cut. Okay. And then when things break down, and I'm telling myself in my head, all right, you're probably not going to finish cutting, but when that thing starts on fire, you got to get over to that stove, all right? Well, I'm going to control this other guy who's going to wash some dishes because you need to put your burger on there. And then all of a sudden you start hearing the as your stove is starting on fire, and you're like, crap. Yeah, I got to switch over to that guy. And I'm like, but he's like, the dude on the left hasn't started walking to, start cutting up or smashing, burger patties. So he's just standing there doing nothing while I got to take this thing off the fire. And so I think that's I'm yelling at myself like, God, just go do it on your own. Like, I got to stay focused. This guy's standing over here doing nothing. So yeah, I know I have a battle, an internal battle when you play by yourself. What about you, Proulx? What's on your plan?
So, I'm not saying I'm not going to, but my focus now is not to start any new stuff. Get as much of this stuff that's on my plate. We're in the summer gaming lull where we're not exposed to a bunch of crazy new games and stuff. I want to use this as cleanup mode. Again, I'm gonna work on as much Halo stuff as I can, and I'm gonna work on as much random to-do list stuff as I can. I kind of have a renewed, for whatever it's worth, effort in Titanfall, and I'm gonna probably at least play it a few matches a day, which is a zillion % more than I've done. If it's too late, if it's too late for me, it's too late for me. I understand, but other than that,
but you're Gen 7, right? Or no, you're still 6.
I am literally.
You're level 49 last night.
I got to 50, and I played a lot of Pilot Hunter, and it's real tough to get those pilot kills because that's what's holding me back at this point. Yeah. So I just need 40 pilot kills from getting to 7. I'll get them on my own. I would love to get them as soon as possible, obviously, and then just take the rest of the week to get up in Gen 7 to do whatever we have to on Thursday. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So Halo, Titanfall, a lot of old stuff. I'm going to work on a lot of classic stuff as much as I can. I may pick up a game just for points, because at some point I have to just go for the points too.
Yeah.
So something easy for a day. Like if I have Sunday free, I'll just pick up a really easy game, just get it done. And then the rest is just the kind of stuff I've been working on the whole time. So that's my plan.
Nice. So this might come as a surprise to you, but I do have a spreadsheet with what I plan to play this week.
Was that your first one?
Well, so I've set it up now for monthly. Okay, so I plan out July, and then so I can't plan out August because I don't know what my random to-do list is. And so how that ties to, the gamertag challenge, right? Because I'll be unlocking focused on those. And so I've laid down at least next week what the plan is. So tomorrow... Saturdays are my gaming days, and so I can do bigger things. I can focus on longer titles, things that I got to spend more time on, and I think I'm going for the completion in that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Danger of the Ooze. Since granted it's only gonna take me an hour, but I got my random to do list off of it, but I feel like now that the game is pretty much fresh in my mind, I should make an attempt at it. That otherwise, if I come back and try to beat a game in an hour that I haven't played in however many months, that's not going to happen. So I feel like I got to make an attempt at it and hopefully get the 1 hour. I've watched a YouTube video on it, and I think the dude did it at 56 minutes. But you can kind of cheese it because if you run a particular part pretty crappy, it doesn't auto save at all. You have to manually save and hit the meditation thing. And so if you don't get a good time, he kind of has some times that are oh, this is kind of a good par time. And so I'm going to kind of use that as a guide, but anyway, going for that. I have 2 achievements. And these should be relatively short, but I'm busting out the Connect tomorrow. Connect 1.0. I have Connect Adventures and Connect Sports that I need to do. So I'll be doing some downhill skiing tomorrow. That'll be a lot of fun. And playing adventure mode or the story mode or whatever you want to call it in Connect Adventures. I need to do some statues. So that'll be fun. And then Sunday's Zombie Army Trilogy, of course, and I think Koosh Moose is finally back in town, so we'll have our full crew to start back on the campaign. And then I've set aside Monday for Assassin's Creed Revelations. And as much as I don't want to do that, like, I just have to earn a bunch of money. And I've seen a bunch of guides on how to do that effectively. And I think it's a relatively short grind. At least I hope it is. And I wish you earned money replaying the missions. Like, you don't get enough for doing that, but I do need to do that as well. And then, really, after that, my Tuesdays are booked with Diablo. Thursdays are with Titanfall. Friday's podcast. So really, that just leaves Wednesday. And this Wednesday, I think it's going to be Borderlands. I have to go find somewhere. And I don't think maybe that won't take that long because, I'm unstoppable killing machine right now. I can't be hurt, right? I got some special drops that may have come from another player who may or may not have imbued them with magical abilities. So
which Borderlands?
Borderlands 1.
Okay.
So yeah, like that should be relatively easy. And then it's like if I have some extra time, some free time in there, I've got to just chip away at some letters because I got some low-hanging fruit on some of the, couple of the like Enigmatis or Eventide for my E's. Child of Light's on the list. I want to get some time on that one. World to the West, I had mentioned that at the end of June. I started up and I really enjoyed. Well, I have 2 achievements from that on my list, but I have no idea how far into the game those are because they don't have all they say is you need to find the tablet to unlock this achievement. Like literally every achievement says that. It's like, well, I don't know where the tablet is. Like, I'd have to do a full walkthrough just to see where these things fall. So, but that's my immediate list. I think the big thing, Connect. I'm going to have to dust off the Connect. I tried doing, maybe if I get those pretty quick, I'll have to do some Mars rover lander and try and finish that thing up. That is not as easy as I would have hoped. That's pretty much my last Connect Fun Labs, and it's not great. I am not great at landing. Like I feel like you have to feather it so gently, and like every time I do it, I'm like, okay, good, yep, nice and easy. What? Come on, how did that break? Are you kidding me? Thing's made of tinfoil. What a piece of garbage. You're the guy with the tattoo. How is that Mars rover lander just such a weak piece of garbage?
Well, I haven't played the game, but I would assume because it's already traveled millions of miles.
I was gonna say you're gonna say some garbage like solar winds or something.
No, well, I'm just saying maybe give it a break because it made it that far in the first place. And maybe you should treat it like a lady because she'll always bring you home.
Yeah. I gotcha. All right. Well, so that's kind of it for the plans for the week. Okay, so let's move into Knobs and Discos, our home for unobtainable and discontinued achievements. We got one here. We'll let our guests take care of this one. Dave, you have some info for us?
Oh, gee, thanks, Freem. I was gonna let you know that Steam announced that they are delisting Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD. They said that the game will be taken out of the store July 17th, which by the time this comes out, it will be gone. But they didn't say anything about any other versions. It is discounted on Steam right now, but is also discounted on Xbox 360. And because it's probably a licensing thing that they're pulling music or whatever it might be, I'm sure it's going to be pulled at the same time, but they didn't make any announcement about being pulled anywhere else. And there is no sale on the PS3 version either. And typically, we know most of these guys, when they're ready to pull, they will discount them. So
right. I'm
thinking it's going to be pulled. No guarantee, but it looks like that's one that's going to be off of our list now. So the nightmare will go away for you. You'll never have to play it again. Unless you bought it, in which case it's already in your list. So
yeah, he's not wrong. They are not. It's not great. So
yeah, it's on my list too. And I wish old Brandon could do this because I was really good back in the day, and now not so much.
Wouldn't matter. The mechanics are so broken at this point. They're so different from. Let's just say this: if old Brandon was awesome at Tony Hawk, he would throw a controller through the window because of how terrible the HD version of this is. Because it's just clumsily written. It's awful. It's awful.
Awful. Gotcha.
Can't
All right,
be that bad if they did it for games done quick, though, right? I mean,
well, I mean, some people might be good at that version of it. If you compare it to the actual vanilla version, yeah, it's rough. It's different. It's hard. I'll say.
I don't really have any zombie news corner. I guess the only thing I'll mention is I rewatched just recently Resident Evil Afterlife because it just happened to be on and I was not really doing anything. That movie's terrible. It is not good. I was like, it is not. Well, okay, it's fine. It's just fine. But the special effects have not aged well. They would have done much better with practical effects. It's not great, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's pretty much it for the main show here. I assume at some point, we've got my contest roundup at the end of the show, and maybe reviews at the end, maybe in the beginning. Who knows? I hope you enjoy all of our content. How can we get a hold of you, Dave? Or if the community wants to, help you with your Extra Life action, where can we reach you?
Well, the nice thing about having a very different name such as Doughboyee is that it's pretty much everywhere. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on TA, the forums. Everywhere is pretty much Doughboyee. So you can hit me up there, and if you follow my Twitter feed, I do announce when I'm doing different contests, different giveaways for anybody that does donate to our Extra Life funds. And if it's something that you really aren't too sure exactly what it is and you want more info, definitely hit me up and I'll give you some more information about it. It's a great cause that I've done for the past 6 years. And every year it has grown, and we're looking to break. Last year we did 9.6 million across the U.S. and Canada, and it should break 10 this year. So we're really excited about that.
That is awesome. That is super awesome. Proulx, what about you?
They can find me on Twitter at OneUpDan. That is the number one, not the word, and obviously on Xbox Proulx. You can find me anywhere under that name, essentially, but the spelling might be a little difficult for you. So obviously just check on the forums or Discord or wherever that I'm at.
It's like you're trying to be secretive about it. You don't want to say it out loud, or do you feel weird about spelling out your last name?
Nobody's gonna. It is Proulx. It's
almost like you forgot. Is that how you do it when somebody asks you? Like, because you'll have to say, sorry. So reservations under what? How do you spell that again? Like, I assume you have a cadence to it where you... Because, like, every time I tell somebody my name, it's always, it's Fream, F-R-E-A-M. It's like dream, but with an F. And then they're like, wait.
Oh, that would work. Right.
So that's how I always do mine. But then you get some idiots who are like Dreerf? Like... No, don't switch the M with the F. Switch the D with the F. What? I literally said Fream. Why would you put the F at the end? Like, some people are just dumb. Are just so dumb. I mean, come on. But that being said, that's where you can find me. Twitter is probably the best, but there's so many places. I am Freamhole, Freamwhole. Twitter, gamertag, True Achievements, of course my Discord channel where many of the Zed listeners come hang out at discord.me/Freamhole. And then I gotta mention Patreon, guys. So it's up, it's running, it's out there. We are so happy. Even during the show, we got 2 more donations and pledges. That is so awesome, you guys. I'm so excited, and you'll likely see more of it on social media as we continue to promote it. But seriously, we appreciate everybody's support and help as we continue to get this show running and hopefully expanding to give out more loot. I think that's the best thing that we can do is have our prize pools and everything continue to grow, because we want to get games to everybody. And when I mentioned on there about giving out the if we reach that threshold so that you can get a game, we're not going to Like, I think we're thinking gift cards or something. Like, I don't know how we're going to do it, if there's legal ramifications or whatnot. But, yeah, we definitely don't want to just, like, oh, yeah, by the way, here is the new $5 indie game. Like, that's definitely not us. So, yeah, it'll be great. If you're interested and you can support our show financially, awesome. If you can't and just support it by listening, that's great too. And a free way to support us is to share the show with your friends on social media. Tell people about it. Let people know that we have a lot of fun here, and we're just like achievements and Xbox in general. I feel like we have plenty of content to offer those individuals. If not, then let me know. If you don't agree, then we need to make some changes. So I'd be happy to hear that as well. Our website, z2z.com, you can find show notes, things that we've talked about on the show. I don't know if there'll be anything specific. There'll certainly be links to some of the news items and stuff that we've discussed here. And finally, the show's Twitter, at Z2Z, or email, contact@z2z.com. So thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks, everybody who helped contribute to make this show. Thank you, Dave, for invigorating our community and being a part of this podcast. We'll have to have you back here in the near future. It's been fun.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, and Proulx, thank you for giving your crack at editing this time around. Good luck on that.
Good luck to me.
I hope any complaints go straight to Proulx on how terrible this one was edited. So if you heard any slip-ups or, like, there was that one, I don't know how it happened, but, like, I triple talked. Did you listen to the show and hear that? Where, like, I repeated the same thing 3 times? That was crazy. I listened to it, I'm like, whoa, I definitely didn't say that. So I don't know how that happened, but anyway.
Yeah, so it'll be my first crack at editing. So please put edit in the title of your email, and I will promise you that it'll go to a special file in New York that will be reviewed by someone. I promise. Yeah. I guarantee it. So
Awesome. And so on behalf of Proulx, Dave, I assume Damien, Warren, Randy, everyone part of the show, everyone who's helped out, I have been Brandon, and to all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode.
Z2Z Podcast presents Review Z.
Hello, this is Planting42, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Proulx.
How's it going?
And we're here to chat about Seasons After Fall. It's a game that was published by Focus Home Interactive. Looks like they've got quite a catalog going so far. Developed by Swing Submarine, whom has also published Tetra Bot & Co. This was released kind of recently, May 16th, 2017, at a price of $19.99. It's a puzzle platformer with some adventure stuffed in, and there's nothing missable. It seems like it's going to be a decent completion, 6 to 10 hours or so, depending on if you got a guide going. I guess with that, about the story, you're basically an orb that can take control of creatures. And in this game, you take control of a fox. And you get to have the ability to change the different seasons. And you use that to solve puzzles. And I don't know about you, but I thought this game was pretty cool in the way that the puzzles were all solvable with just what's right there in the scene.
Yeah, I will make a small correction. We are told that you are an orb that's able to take over creatures. But throughout my experience of the game, and granted I didn't play the entire thing through, the fox is the only creature you actually come across, besides like some of the major boss type characters, I guess. There's no other like animal creature. Like you can't jump from animal to animal. You're kind of in control of this fox for the whole game. Even though it's said that you can take over all these different creatures. But yes, really the big focus of this game is on the seasonal powers. So as you would expect, if you change the season to winter, all of the water will have frozen. If you change it to summer, the water levels will be low, and all those kinds of things that are going on. If you change it to spring, the plants will sprout and grow, and you can jump on the trees and stuff. That seems to be the main thrust of this game.
And that's exactly, and that itself is pretty much what helps you get through everything. It's a cute little game with like watercolor backgrounds. It reminds me a lot of Ori and the Blind Forest, and I don't know. It's just a really fun adventure. The little, I guess, issue I have with it is that it doesn't seem to have a huge compelling story. The only real storytelling bits happen when you meet one of the seasonal bosses or when you get back to like the hub zone. Other than that, it's just you with the environment trying to interact with the puzzles.
Yeah, we were just talking before, and I'm a little bit further than you. And I don't even want to call it a twist. The story in this game is so thin. It's literally just told through a voiceover. There's some character you're not even really sure who this character is that's speaking to you, kind of giving you instructions. Hey, you've got to go to the fall world. You got to go to the spring world and get these other orbs and stuff. And that's kind of it. And I've hit like I think the midpoint of the game where the reveal happens, but it doesn't. I don't know what any of this stuff does other than change the seasons. I know what it does for gameplay. But I have no idea what the story of this game is. They're talking about rituals and new orbs and these other things, but you don't interact with any of that stuff. You kind of fetch quest it. You go to this part of the world, then you come back to the hub. You go to this part of the world, you come back to the hub. So the story is, I guess it's there, but it's really thin, like super, super thin.
Oh, I totally agree. And normally with a game like this, there's a couple collectible achievements. However, usually those collectible achievements help give you a feel about the game somewhat, or like a little storytelling. These just require you to make flowers bloom. There's a couple others that have to do with finding a spot to sleep in dreams, but I haven't gotten that far, so I'm not really sure what that's about yet.
Yeah, I've walked over a couple of these what I assume are these flower things. It's really weird though, because there's no map on this game as far as I can tell. So and the world is, I mean, it's not big by any imagination. It's a 2D thing, but it's got, the graphics are such, I mean, by the way, the graphics are, I think, probably by far the best part of this game. It's such a very pretty game. But it's it's kind of got winding trails and stuff like this. And I'm not really that concerned about finding them. They don't seem to be that well hidden. It's just like, it seems like a headache to try to find every little trail and hop on every platform to try to find all these tiny little flowers that you can bloom with no map. You have no idea where to go. So there was just one thing that really bothered me about it. I'm like, why can't you just give me something so I can, unless I missed something, but I pressed all the buttons.
As far as I know, no, there's no map. There is at least an indication as to whether you found all the flowers in the zone when you first enter a new area, but that's it from what I can tell.
Oh, I see. I didn't even notice that.
When you come in a new zone, there's a little like flower indicator that'll show underneath the name if you've bloomed any flowers in that area.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. I guess I didn't know what that was, but okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's useful. But again, map probably would have been a little bit more helpful.
Agreed, especially for those areas. There's some climbing spots where you can discover you can just go up and up, and it's like, should I go up here? Is this a waste of time? Yeah. But I mean, it's if you like exploring, it's definitely going to be a fun little like twist to the puzzle solving that you'd be doing otherwise.
I would say this game is super relaxed. You're not in like danger really ever. There's no combat as far as I've come across so far. It's literally just puzzle solving and platforming, and combined that with the really solid music, really enjoyable stuff, and the very, very pleasant visuals. This is a game that if you're just kind of looking to have a good time, not stress out about getting all these points right away or whatever. Not that it seems very long or anything, but it's just like very chill and very relaxed kind of experience. It's good for that.
No, I would have to agree. I guess like trying to break it down then, I mean, like you say, it's a good stress reliever, but it unfortunately doesn't really keep my interest over a long span of gameplay like Ori does. There's no hook to it. I guess it's because the story is kind of on the thin side. It looks beautiful, it plays well, there's just nothing really there in the meat of it. Oh, sorry, it looks like you're trying to say something.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, like I said, I just kind of reached the midpoint of the game, I think. And Again, not having actually played through the whole thing, but it does seem like I'm about to hit the, okay, go back throughout the whole world that you've now explored and just kind of do the same thing again. And it's like, oh, okay, all right, I see what you're doing. Kind of padding out the length of the game there. Which is kind of just the gameplay is it's good. It's just super, super thin. There's just not a lot to do once you've experienced the 4 different types of puzzles because of the 4 different seasons. That's kind of it. I mean, that's the game has shown you everything you can do at that point, and that happens pretty early on. So, yeah, I agree. This is not a game I would want to play over weeks and weeks because it's kind of hard to motivate yourself. But if you have two, like a Saturday and a Sunday afternoon that you just want to kill, this wouldn't be bad for that. But it would be tough to come back, I think, after a little while because there's nothing compelling about it. There's nothing bringing you right back to it.
Exactly. There's honestly no replay to this. It's not like there's a different story you'll get once you've beaten it. The price, with it being a $20 game and the short span of time it takes to complete this, even if you don't use a guide, I'd have to say this has got to be like a conditional recommendation. I mean, it's not horrible by any means, but it's not a go out and buy this. Wait for a sale and pick it up then.
Yeah. $5 would be ideal, I think, honestly, but $10 would be understandable. Like I said, it's super pretty. It's a really, really, really nice looking game, and a nice sounding game. And again, it's a well designed game. It's just there's not much to it. There's not a lot of meat on the bones. And $20 is way too much. Way too much.
Yeah. With that said, I guess if you can find it on sale, $5-10, definitely give it a shot. Otherwise, might want to give this one a pass.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, back to the main show.
Hey, I said I did not have any zombie news for the regular show, but as of recording, since I wait to do the contest review until after the G-Task, I have some sad news in the zombie world. Legendary director, father of the modern zombie, George A. Romero, passes away this last weekend. He and I actually shared a birthday. I mean, granted, he's very old, or he was very old, but we had the same date, which maybe that spawned my love for zombies. But I was always a huge fan of Romero's type of zombie, the slow, plodding, creeping death type. When actually, he didn't even call them zombies. He, obviously went with living dead. I think later the term zombie came about based on voodoo religion and whatnot. But anyway, it's so sad to see him go. Granted, he was not as prolific as a film director in his later years, but he always had some colorful things to say in regards to the modern zombie movies, the ones where the fast zombies became a thing. He was not a big fan, tell you the truth, and he thought those were really just action movies. They didn't tell any sort of social commentary, which he liked to include into his movies. Anyway, so you'll be missed. As we're wont to say on the show, rip in peace. And if you haven't seen any of his movies, I recommend taking a look. They're very good. May not age quite as well, certainly the effects, but some of those practical effects looked pretty good. So anyway, we do have a community roundup to get to, and it's pretty, as far as the GTASC is going, it is getting real tight. So all those elimination points, I mean, people are burning through bonuses. It is the narrowest of margins between the bottom 10 teams. They are just fighting tooth and nail for every scrap of TA that they can get. This week, no different. We had 42 teams that survived, and our Smooth Sailing Award goes to the first place team, Punching Kangaroos. ZZ Urban Spaceman, Chin Doctor, Sea Monkey, Grug, and Montana 97. Take a look for their interview. They get I think when you win first place, you get a little interview. So good, that'll be fun to read. So congrats to you guys. The near miss goes to NBA Kirkland and his Achievement Hounds podcast team, 6 spots above elimination, 395. TA points from losing that one. In the individual contest, we are at 116 individuals remaining. Smooth Sailing Award goes to first place, Chin Doctor. Of course, by the time he hears this, it'll be well past his first place finish, and he'll probably be eliminated because I think he's on vacation. So next week, you'll hear me tell you that he is dead skis. Again, unless he can come back with a ton of points. I think he comes back like Saturday and has till Sunday to unlock a bunch of points. But dude, he's prolific, so we'll see. I also want to mention ZZ Urban Spaceman comes in with 4th place, so that's another solid scoring week for him. Near misses, we had Montana 97, 6 spots above the elimination, but only 98 TA. As far as eliminations go, well, we had two people bow out. They just chose not to participate this week or in a meaningful way. It was Tropan and Saucy Slingo. They just saw the writing on the wall and took themselves out of the competition. We had one listener who tried but came up a little short, and that was Blue Thunder 7398. He missed it by 3 spots and only 200 TA, so bummer on that. I mention every week that we do have our random to-do list contest. We have one more month left. The month of August will be the last month for the 12-month period, the one-year contest that we ran, the 4th annual, and we will be moving to the 5th annual. And there will be some rule changes coming out. Now, none of them have been finalized yet, but it does sound like the popular consensus is to move to 4 3-month periods or 3 4-month periods. That we haven't decided, but we will break it up into smaller sections. There's some talk about increasing the pool size from 25 achievements to 30, 40, 50. Who knows? That has yet to be decided as well. We would love to hear your feedback. If you guys have any sort of suggestions, things you want to see, there's been some discussion about how maybe to normalize some of the points based on people's games collection. Some ideas kicking around there. Not sure if we're getting any closer to a solution, but you certainly have, there's been some input and what people like to see. The minimum achievement number definitely is going up. So right now it's 500. Whether we move it to 1,000 or 1,500, that number is definitely going to go up. So your pool has to be bigger. You can't quite tailor it down to nothing. Maybe even 2,000, 2,500. It doesn't take that many games to get there, but obviously we don't want to be exclusive to people who have, small collections of games. We'll see. So if you have any input on what you'd like to see for the next run of the contest, you head over to our forums, forum.z2z.com. There is a forum thread called Random To-Do List Contest Ideas, I think is what it's called. Anyway, it's pretty easy to find. Our forums are fairly well laid out. If you have any issues, you can send me a message, and I will help direct you to where you need to go. As far as our other contests on the forums, while you're there, you might as well check out what else is going on. This month for July, we have the Anti-Bean Dive month. Of course, we just finished the TrueAchievements.com Bean Dive, where you add a bunch of games to your card and plummet your completion percentage. Well, the Anti-Bean Dive is the exact opposite. We are looking for those game completions. So if you happen to start a game this month and complete that, you will get bonus entries, but simply completing any game will get you an entry into the prize pool for the month of July. We have 2 gamer tags. You can earn 10 entries into our raffle for completing one of the 2 tags. If you complete both, well, you get 20 entries into the raffle, and we have Angel SK and McLovin Legend 1. So a little bit of crossover there. Good luck on that. And remember, all you have to do is type that you have completed, whatever your gamer tag is, I've completed it, or I'm done, or whatever. And Mr. ZZ Urban Spaceman can simply run a scan for you and tell you how much you've qualified for. Keep in mind there are substitution rules, so if you can't quite get that V or the I, give it a shot anyway, and you may still get 1 or 5 entries depending on how rare the letter is that you are missing. So with that, the last community contest that we have going on is the Mokos M. Surin's Overly Convoluted Achievement Spectacular. This one is called Name That Game, and it is for unlocking achievements that spell out the name of the game that you are playing. So his example in the forums I've mentioned before is Destiny. There is an achievement that starts with a D, an E, an S, a T, an I, an N, and a Y. And if you happen to unlock all 7 of those, well, you get the square of the number of achievements. So 7 squared is 49. And that is 49 entries into the pool. Now, fear not if you just can't get all those completed. That is fine, too. Simply any achievement that you unlock that has a letter in the name of the game counts. So there's so many long-named games out there. I just completed this week Connect Fun Labs Mars Rover Landing, and the 3 achievements that I unlocked there all qualify because there's just so many letters in the name of the game. So I think I'm up to 28 so far this month, so that's pretty fun. No squares, all just kind of random flip-flops here and there. And I think that's about it for contests. Of course, if you are curious or looking for any sort of community boosting sessions, we have plenty of community activities going on, multiplayer sessions set up. The most prominent ones, of course, are Titanfall Thursdays that we have, and we've just recently started, I think Proulx is kind of headlining this one, Halo multiplayer on Tuesday nights. So I think they're working on Halo 3 right now, but really anybody with Master Chief or any of the backwards compatible games, they'll hit them all. They'll definitely hit them all. So if you're interested, simply go onto our forums, my personal forums, discord.me/Freamhole, and that's spelled FREAMWHOLE. That is my gamer tag, everywhere you can find me with that. And that is the entrance into my personal Discord. And in there, you will find a channel called Halo. And simply chat in there and say, hey, I'm totally interested in looking for some Halo boosting or multiplayer or whatever you want to do. Co-op campaign, any of it. That's what the Halo channel is for. Of course, I have my Diablo channel, Zombie Armored Trilogy, things that I'm working on with others, but maybe that's not your cup of tea. Maybe Gears of War. That's a brand new chat that just showed up. There's been some interest in running through some multiplayer or the campaign co-op in that. I know I need to do Gears of War Judgment at some point. I know it's not that good, so that's kind of why I'm dragging my feet. But, maybe if I had, a few people to play with, that would entice me to get that thing done. There's still a Left 4 Dead one out there. Anyway, lots of options. And if you do not find what you're looking for, you can either A, ask me to set one up, like those obnoxious clicker heroes people just did, or you can go into the generic LFG and just ask for one-offs. Like, hey, I really want to see, some inappropriate pictures in Uno. You want to, knock some of those achievements out? Or I need a one-off in game blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that game sucks. Don't play that. Anyway, people will probably say that. But you can maybe find someone to help you out. It's a little easier for to find somebody in the community that you don't have to necessarily worry about being a random or being a jerk or standing you up. We tend to be pretty cool. At least I hope we are. Anyway, so that'll pretty much do it for the show and my little segment here. So good luck on the contests. Make sure you go visit our forums, forum.z2z.com, or come chat with us in my personal Discord channel, discord.me/Freamhole. And if you want to get a hold of me, the best ways are Twitter @Freamhole, FREAMWHOLE, or private messages pretty much anywhere. Discord, TrueAchievements.com, Xbox Live. It doesn't even matter. You can find me. Would love to talk to you. So, with that being said, I will catch you guys next week. See ya!